Hello, good evening, and welcome to Over and Over and Over Again. My name is Richard, and this is the live watch-along. Arsenal away at Crystal Palace, a really big game in the Premier League tonight. Arsenal need to win, of course, to go back into fourth. In fact, a draw will put us back into fourth place, but ideally we need a win, really, don't we, to really cement that place in the top four. We know it's going to be a difficult game coming up the other side of this. So here we go. Selhurst Park is the venue for this big game tonight in the Premier League. Of course, a clash of two former Arsenal captains, isn't it? Patrick Vieira and Mikel Arteta going head-to-head. Of course, the previous game at the Emirates ended in a 2-2 draw, didn't it? A very, very late goal from Alexander Lacazette on that particular occasion meant the points were shared. We have got for you your team news tonight. This is how the teams line up then. So for Arsenal, there's a couple of changes to the last couple of games. So it's Aaron Ramsdale in goal. The back four, Cedric, White, Gabriel, and Tavares is at left back. No Kieran Tierney tonight. He's not even on the bench. So there's obviously some issue there with injury or illness. In midfield, it is the usual three, Thomas Partey, Granit Xhaka, and Martin Ødegaard. And then the three up front, Saka, Lacazette, and it's Smith Rowe on the left, in place of Martinelli, who's only fit enough for the bench. So on the bench then for Arsenal is, of course, Bernd Leno, played, of course, brilliantly in that last game against Aston Villa. We've got Holding and a couple of youngsters there, Agumbo, Swanson. We've also got Flores, of course, on the bench, along with Lokonga, Elneny, Martinelli, and Eddie Nketiah. So for Crystal Palace then, in goal, it's Vincetti, Guaita. Their back four is Nathaniel Klein, Joachim Anderson, Mark Guay, and Tyreek Mitchell. In midfield, it's Chaco Kouate, Conor Gallagher, and Jeffrey Schlupp. And their three up front is Jordan Ayew, Jean-Philippe Mateta, and of course Wilf Zaha, the boyhood Arsenal fan. On the bench then, Jack Butland, Joel Ward, James Tompkins, James McArthur, Will Hughes, Luka Milojevic, Eddie Eze, Ozon, Edward, and Christian Benteke. So they are your lineups for this game. A couple of changes for Arsenal. A lot of youngsters on the bench. Shows the strength or the lack of strength in depth for Arsenal now as we chase down that top four. It's going to be difficult, isn't it? We've already seen tonight, as you can see, we've got a couple of players out injured, and the bench is got a lot of kids on. So if we have too many more injuries, we are going to struggle, aren't we, to be competitive at this business end of the season. But we know it's a strong enough 11, isn't it, to be able to get a result in this game. Just a little bit of recent form then for Crystal Palace. They're actually unbeaten in their last 6 games. That was since a 1-0 defeat at Selhurst Park against Chelsea back on the 19th of February. That was a last-minute goal there, actually, they lost to in that game. They've only conceded 3 goals, actually. In fact, they haven't conceded a goal in their last 3 games, and they've only conceded 5 in their last 10. So they have certainly tightened up at the back. They're very, very difficult to break down these days. And I say their last defeat was 7 games ago at home to Chelsea. Their last 3 games, they haven't conceded a goal. Of course, their last home game at Selhurst Park in the Premier League, they held Manchester City to a goalless draw. So it just goes to show, doesn't it, how much better they are defensively than they were maybe earlier in the season, where they were conceding too many goals. They have conceded quite a lot of late goals, actually, this season. I think it's 8 in all competitions they've conceded in the last few minutes of games. Costly goals they've been. Of course, we scored one of them, didn't we? Lacazette at the Emirates back in October, getting us that 2-2 draw in the very, very last few seconds. So that's the thing tonight. We keep ourselves in the game because we've got enough going forward, haven't we? There's no Nicolas Pepe on the bench actually tonight, I've just realised as well. So we have got a few issues, a few problems in the squad, missing a few players, and it could make it a very difficult evening for us, couldn't it? Actually, when you look at we've got 1 or 2 injuries in this team, and we're going to be scraping together a side, aren't we? So it's a big game tonight. Palace are a good side. They're in the FA Cup semi-final. Yes, they've got one or two players missing themselves. Michael Olise, of course, who's been in great form for them, he is out tonight. They did say there was a doubt about his fitness, and he's not. Unfortunately for Crystal Palace, he's not made it. But probably good news for us because he's in great form, Michael Olise. But anyway, we don't worry too much about that. We can only worry about the players that they've got playing. Of course, Zaha has got a great record, hasn't he, against us in recent years. Always tends to score a goal, doesn't he? So we know he's going to be a threat. And of course, Nuno Tavares at left back, no Kieran Tierney tonight. He didn't have a great game, did he, last time he played against Nottingham Forest? Got hooked off after about 35 minutes. So we're hoping for something better from him tonight, of course, in this game. Let's hope that he can put in a good performance. And if we do, we've got a great chance of winning. But it's going to be a tough game. It was going to be a tough game anyway. With one or two players missing, it's going to be even more of a tough game tonight, isn't it? So we just need to, play well. If we play as well as we can play, as well as we've been playing, we're going to have a hell of a chance of getting the 3 points, which I say will put us 3 points clear of Tottenham with a game in hand as well. Of course, we do play them as well coming up later in the season. I don't think that game's been arranged yet, has it? It's not been confirmed yet. There's rumours it's going to be in the middle of May on a Thursday night. But anyway, we'll see what happens with that one. Ultimately, we're going to have to play the games. We're just going to have to play them all. We've got 10 left starting tonight. And we're going to have to try and get as many points as we can and hope it's enough to get us into that top 4. Of course, we should still make it into Europe anyway. Robertson in the chat there, he says, hi Richard, how are you? And who is missing? Yeah, there's a few missing. Kieran Tierney's missing, so Nuno Tavares is in. Martinelli's only fit enough for the bench. There's no Pepe either. So we are a little bit short, but Aaron Ramsdale's back in goal following his injury. Of course, he missed the game against Aston Villa, our last Premier League game a couple of weeks ago. But he's back in goal tonight. A little bit harsh on on Bert Leno. I thought played really well in that last game. But anyway, Ramsdale is the first choice. And I guess I did say on the preview show the other night that if Ramsdale's fit, he would more likely come back into the side. And that's exactly what has happened. So, he's back. Tomiyasu's still not in the squad. So he's still obviously struggling. We've got 3 young players on the bench, Swanson, Flores, and Okongbo as well. So, it just goes to show the lack of depth that we've got. And, with these crucial games coming up now, with some big games, is that going to prove to be the difference between us making that top 4 and not? If we've got to, play a few of the youngsters, that could be, they're great young players, but are they ready for the battle of the Premier League battle, the top 4 battle? It's a big ask, isn't it? And that's a big problem. We will be talking about that amongst other things, of course, on the Tuesday Clinic show tomorrow night. With the game, we're going to be looking back at this game, of course, looking ahead to Brighton at the weekend, also discussing the squad, the top 4 running, and we're going to be looking at previous meetings with Brighton as well as we look forward to that game at the weekend. That's tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. But of course, tonight, this is all about the Premier League, the top 4, Arsenal away at Crystal Palace. It's not been a bad ground for us, has it, over the years? Although we have only actually won one of our last 7 meetings with Crystal Palace. And that one meeting, though, was this reverse fixture last season, of course, came at the end of the season, didn't it? Those 2 very late goals in the end gave us the victory. It was 2 stoppage time goals, wasn't it? Martinelli getting both of them, I think, didn't he? I know he didn't know. I think it was, who got the other one? I can't remember. But Martinelli certainly got one of them, didn't he? Them late goals in this fixture. Oh, Pepe, I think it was, wasn't it? Got the other one. In this fixture last season, we did win 3-1, but I say it was a tight game. And of course, the reverse fixture at the Emirates finished in that dramatic 2-2 draw. It looks like a good crowd in at Selhurst Park, a nice venue for football. It's kind of my part of the world in a way. It works where my dad's family were from, so I know the area pretty well. And it is a great venue for football, great atmosphere. And of course, Crystal Palace fans are enjoying the season, aren't they, under Patrick Vieira? So I spoke to Rich from Eagle Eye Football, of course, on Saturday on the preview show. That was a really good show, actually. If you haven't seen that, please give that a watch. And check out Eagle Eye Football as well. They do some good stuff over there, not just Crystal Palace content, football content in general. And he was saying how much the atmosphere is really, really going. They're loving it over Crystal Palace this season. Of course, Patrick Vieira, we've all got our eye on him, haven't we? Arsenal, absolute Arsenal legend, of course, recently put into the Premier League Hall of Fame. For me, he's the greatest player ever to play in his position in Premier League history. What a fantastic player he was. It's no surprise, is it, that since he left Arsenal in 2005, we have yet to win another Premier League title. So I think it just goes to show the importance that he was. And now he is doing a great job as manager of Crystal Palace in the Premier League. And, one day I'm sure, nothing against Mikel Arteta, who's doing a decent job at the moment, but I'm sure we would, there wouldn't be too many Arsenal fans out there who wouldn't love to see Patrick Vieira back at Arsenal at some point in the future as manager. And he's certainly doing a good job at Crystal Palace, isn't he? He really improved them this season. They played some great football as well. Let's see how this game goes tonight. Robert says they were just saying the other day we do not need injuries. No, exactly. We know that the squad depth isn't that great, is it? They also have injuries. Yeah, Crystal Palace have got one or two players out as well. I say Michael Olise is out as well. He's a great player, isn't he? But one to watch tonight for Crystal Palace actually could well be Jean-Philippe Mateta, who's been in good form actually recently. He's got a lot of goals playing as their centre forward, getting in ahead of Edouard and Benteke. Shows how good he's playing at the moment. And Rajendra as well in the chat. How you doing, Rajendra? Thanks for tuning in, mate. Hope you are doing well this evening. Looking forward to this game. It's going to be an interesting game. It's going to be a tight game, and it's going to be a very difficult game for Arsenal. This was certainly one of the ones when I looked at our remaining fixtures. This was one I had sort of marked as a potential banana skin. Well, not a banana skin, but a potential game where we could drop points. This was certainly one that I was worried about. And, with a couple of injuries, I'm even more worried about it now than I was. Anyway, the teams are just coming out now at Selhurst Park. Arsenal, of course, in the all yellow strip, and Crystal Palace in their traditional home colours of red and blue stripes. This is going to be a very difficult game for Arsenal. Big night for Nuno Tavares as well, back in the side in the absence of Kieran Tierney. Robert says there, Zaha is out too. I think I heard. No, he's not. He's playing. Zaha's in the team for Crystal Palace tonight. There was a doubt about him and Olise, but Zaha has made it. I'm not surprised he's made it, actually. I had a feeling he was going to be playing. In fact, I thought Olise would be playing as well, but he didn't quite manage it. But Zaha is playing. He's got a great record against us as well, hasn't he? He does tend to score regularly in games between the sides. A lot of draws, actually, between Arsenal and Crystal Palace. 5 of the last 7 have finished in a draw. So that certainly wouldn't be a surprise result tonight, would it? And I guess in the circumstances, it wouldn't be a total disaster for us either. But, the more games that we can win, the better position we're going to be in, obviously, for that top 4. But, yeah, it's a couple of players missing from the starting 11. Martinelli's on the bench. Nuno Tavares has came in. So it's going to be interesting to see how Tavares does. Of course, he could well be coming up against Wilfried Zaha, of course, or even Jordan Ayew, who's a great player as well. Robert says we should have signed for us when he was literally begging to. Yeah, well, we couldn't get that deal done, could we? That was the problem. We couldn't get it done, and because of that issue, we managed to get Nicolas Pepe on the on the instalment plan, if you like, couldn't we? So, that was the reason why that happened. But yeah, it's certainly I agree. We should have got him on. I'm just having a little bit of trouble here with the stream for some reason. It's just decided to pack up just as the teams were coming out, which was nice, obviously. But anyway, let's see if we can get it back again. I'm sure we will. It's just a temporary glitch in the system. A lot of these, you have to click for a lot of ads, unfortunately. And Robert says there, the rebound. Rajendra says there, we can catch Chelsea if we win. I'm hoping 2-0 to the Arsenal. Yeah, I think we'd be 2 points behind Chelsea, wouldn't we? If we win this game. So, yeah. Would it be a point behind them? I know we're going to be close behind. Of course, we do have to play them as well, don't we? As we know. So it is going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Yeah, the top 3 is a possibility. Who would have thought that we could be challenging for the top 3 after those first 3 games of the season? Didn't seem possible, did it? But anyway, we have done, and it is great to see, isn't it? Let me just see if I can find another stream, because that one has just decided to pack up on me, which is nice, isn't it? Anyway, Let's have a look and see. I'm sure we can find something else if we can manage it, which will be good. Let's have a look and see if we can. Give me 2 seconds. There's a lot of issues at the minute, isn't there, with streaming games for some reason. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, we are back in. We have got one back again now. I knew it wouldn't be long until we were back in action. Just get rid of the adverts, and then we'll be up and ready for kick-off here at Selhurst Park. Arsenal in the all-yellow kit, attacking the goal to our right in the first half. Crystal Palace, I say, in their usual home kit, they will be kicking off, attacking the goal to our left. The Holmesdale Road end is where Crystal Palace will be attacking in this first half. It is going to be a big game this for Arsenal, a difficult game. The players taking a knee, but not Wilf Zaha. You've got to admire someone who's prepared to stand by what they believe in. So well played, Wilfried Zaha. Now we are up and underway at Selhurst Park here. This big game tonight. Crystal Palace against Arsenal. As Arsenal chase down that place in the top 4 again. Victory tonight would give us that 3-point cushion over Tottenham. Rajendra says there, Pepe was expensive due to French players shooting the value, and also the fact that the Lille chairman was basically mates with the guy at Rail at the time at Arsenal, and they put up a deal between themselves. Nobody thought he was worth that much. Crystal Palace on an early attack, but the flag's up for offside. Rajendra says in a big drop in value due to COVID. Yeah, it was more to do with just the ridiculous people we had at the club at the time doing the deal. Terry's in the chat. Evening, Terry says, evening, Richard, and all in the chat. How you doing, mate? Hope you're well. We've played about a minute almost here at Selhurst Park. Arsenal got a free kick for that offside. Aaron Ramsdale takes it back in the side, of course, tonight. He goes long up this near side looking for Saka, but it was a good header there from Mark Gay, of course, recently made his England debut. 3 Crystal Palace players in the England starting lineup, wasn't there, in that Switzerland game that I almost got to see live at Wembley. I couldn't quite get a ticket in the end. But yeah, that's the first time I think 3 Crystal Palace players have started a game. Of course, we say 3 Crystal Palace players. Of course, Conor Gallagher, he's a Chelsea player. Just happens to be on loan at Crystal Palace. Well, Gabriel's getting himself in a bit of a mess, but does manage to get the ball back to Aaron Ramsdale. It's been a fast start, this from Crystal Palace. They've won the ball again, high up the pitch. And this is typical of the way that they've been playing. I say they're in great form, unbeaten in their last 6 games. Crystal Palace haven't conceded a goal in their last 3. They held Manchester City to a goalless draw here at Selhurst Park in their last game a couple of weeks ago. That game, of course, was going on when we were doing a show, if you remember. Anyway, Zaha now have a lovely back heel. Mitchell with a cross into the near post. Oh, inside the 6-yard box. Almost falls to Conor Gallagher there. Arsenal managed to scramble it clear. It has been a fast start from Palace, but Arsenal now looking for a counter-attack. Smith Rowe found Tavares outside him on that far side, gets it back. Smith Rowe plays it into Granit Xhaka. This is better from Arsenal. Smith Rowe, been a very open start to this game. Lacazette through to Smith Rowe again. Just couldn't quite get on the end of that, Smith Rowe, or he would have been in goal inside the penalty area. That ball just rolled through for a goal kick, but that was better from Arsenal. Our first real attack there. Smith Rowe started it, played it into Granit Xhaka, replayed it in to Smith Rowe again. Tried to make a little 1-2 there with Lacazette. Just got away from Smith Rowe there. But it has been a really fast start to this game. There's been chances at both ends. And there's a ball played through the centre there. Mateta was trying to get onto that, but again, I think he might have been given offside. He's a big fella, isn't he? The Frenchman, Jean-Philippe Mateta. You've got Mateta and Arteta, sound quite similar, don't they? But he's a centre forward for Crystal Palace these days. A good young player, French player, of course. I'm sure Patrick Vieira knows a lot about. Ben White now in possession for Arsenal. Finds Cedric Suarez keeping his place at right back in the absence of Tomiyasu. He's been playing pretty well, Cedric Suarez, but he is up against Wilf Zaha in these early stages here. Jordan Ayew's over on the other side with Mateta through the middle for Crystal Palace. Lacazette then tries to drop the ball off to Cedric, who manages to keep it in. It wasn't a great ball, but he's done well, Cedric. Plays it back in to Lacazette, who's deep inside his own half at the minute. He does apologise to Cedric for that ball. And now Arsenal coming forward. Gabriel plays it into Thomas Partey. He's in great form. The Ghanaian, a couple of Ghanaians in the Palace team tonight as well, of course, including Jordan Ayew. Jeffrey Schlupp's the other one. Palace now hoof that ball forward up that far side, looking for Mateta. Holds it up well. Mateta finds Ayew. battling away there with Nuno Tavares, and Nuno Tavares has done well. He's won the throw for Arsenal right in front of the dugouts over on that far side. Nuno Tavares takes the throw short into Granit Xhaka. Arsenal settled down a bit now. It was a lively start from Crystal Palace. The ball is now back with Aaron Ramsdale. Dribbles it just outside his penalty area, outside the D. Just lays it off to Ben White for Arsenal. Herman's in the chat. How you doing, Herman? He says, hi, Richard. Just went to the kitchen to make a cappuccino ready for the game. Yeah, we're off and running. 4.5 minutes played. Arsenal coming forward now with Nuno Tavares down that far side. Thomas Partey now picks it up in midfield. Good run from Partey, but just overran the ball there. And Joachim Anderson, who sounds like he maybe should be in some sort of Swedish rock band. He's actually Danish, and he's a defender for Crystal Palace. He managed to get that ball away. And Rajendra says there, Partey playing well. He's playing very well at the moment. He's been in great form, hasn't he? Let's hope that can continue as well through the rest of the season, because we need everybody to be in form, everybody to be fit and playing well. And if we can do that, then we've got a great chance, haven't we, of getting that top four. Gunnar for Lives in the chat as well. How you doing? He says, good evening, Rich. Come on. Come on, Agent Vieira, give Arsenal 3 points. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's going to. The one thing you've got to say about Patrick Vieira, and the one thing that we used to love about him when he played for us, is he is a winner. He's not going to throw away any game, is he? He never has done. He's not going to start now, no matter how much he loves Arsenal. He's got his own job to do, and a great job he's doing at Crystal Palace as well. That's a long kick there from Ramsdale, goes straight through to Guaita in the goal for Crystal Palace, the Spaniard. Plays the ball short to Gay, and now to Tyreek Mitchell there, but Arsenal do win the ball back with Granit Xhaka, finds Gabriel. Now Thomas Partey, Gabriel again. Loads of time on the ball. He's now being shut down by Mateta, but he finds Tavares over on that far side, and then Emil Smith-Rowe wins a throw-in off Jordan Ayew. We've played 6 minutes, just over 6 minutes here at Selhurst Park. Arsenal are still 0-0 here with Crystal Palace in what is going to be a very difficult game. We know that. And Arsenal just made a mistake. It was Gabriel. He's gone out for a throw. His new haircut, actually, Gabriel. Very short hairstyle there for the Brazilian defender. He's been in great form this season, of course, as we know. But he made a bit of a mistake there. Crystal Palace have got a throw over on that far side, but they've made nothing of it. It's going to be now thrown to Arsenal with Nathaniel Klein playing for Crystal Palace tonight. I wonder what happened to him, but anyway. Herman says, going back to the Wolfsburg game, I was amazed at Kim Little's game. She was outstanding. Yeah, she was. I mean, she's a fantastic player, isn't she? Driving us forward. Good result yesterday, of course, for the win. The cross comes in there for Crystal Palace. Good defensive play there from Bukayo Saka. It's a ball in from that far side. I think it was Jordan Ayew with the cross. Looked like it was going to cause a few anxious moments, but Bukayo Saka did it. In fact, it was Conor Gallagher with a cross. Just a little bit too high for Wilfried Zaha there, and Bukayo Saka was able to come back in and get it away. But Tyreek Mitchell now with a throw for Crystal Palace on this near side. One of those England debutants, of course, in the recent game against Switzerland. Of course, a game that Granit Xhaka played in as well, as I'm sure you were aware. England, of course, won that game 2-1, preparing, of course, for the World Cup later on this year. It's going to be a strange World Cup, isn't it? Played in November and December. Also, funny kickoff times, I would have thought as well, played in Qatar, as we know. But anyway, Cedric Suarez now in possession for Arsenal on this near side, bringing the ball forward, but he goes back actually into the centre circle, finds Thomas Partey. Now Gabriel plays out to that far side to Nuno Tavares, into Smith-Rowe. He just pings it straight back to Gabriel. Arsenal settled down now, looking comfortable in possession following that rather shaky first few minutes. Now Bukayo Saka having his first run down his right-hand side. He's got Cedric Suarez ahead of him. He said he cuts inside to Martin Ødegaard on the edge of the penalty. This is good from Arsenal. Plays it square to Nuno Tavares, but he maybe tried to do too much there. He had the ball taken off him by Jordan Ayew. Maybe tried to do too much there, taking it past the player. He should have maybe either had a shot or played it out wide. He had Smith-Rowe outside him there. Nuno Tavares didn't make his mind up quick enough, and Jordan Ayew took the ball off him and started a Crystal Palace counter-attack. But Arsenal back in possession again now. The ball's with Mitchell though over on this near side, finds Wilfried Zaha. Nice turn away from Cedric, who's fouled him, and it's going to be a free kick to Crystal Palace. Of course, we did talk about Zaha on the show the other night, the preview show, about the free kicks and stuff that he maybe doesn't get. As a Wilfried Zaha, he got one there. He does go down. He does go down very quickly and very easily, but he is a player that's going to, bring fouls out of defenders because of his style of play. Wants to run at people. He's in possession again there. Again, Cedric's very tight to him. He lays the ball off to Mark Gay. Plays a long ball. Actually, switch it over to that far side. Good header actually by Nuno Tavares there under pressure from Jordan Ayew. That's a good ball played forward from Smith Rowe to Lacazette. He plays it on here to this near side. That's another good ball looking for Bukayo Saka. Can he get there? No, he can't. Mitchell's there. That's going to be a big battle. We mentioned that the other night as well. Mitchell against Saka, the two young English players coming in to battle tonight. But Jones says there, Nuno, not enough match practice. Well, no, but a lot of the players don't have enough match practice today because Arteta picks the same 11. And when he's got to play them, they're not quite sharp enough, are they, to play? That's the problem that we've got with the way that Arteta wants to manage the team. He's not rotating. We don't have a big squad. And that's the problem that we've got. It was the same with Cedric, though, wasn't it, when he first came in? He hadn't played for ages at right back. And he came in and has played pretty well. So, Tavares has started okay. Let's hope he can continue and have a decent game. Conor Gallagher now on that far side, but that cross is going to go straight behind for a goal kick to Arsenal. Herman says there, at Wolfsburg, I would have used Viv as a striker. Also, we missed Beth Mead. No, we did. We really did miss Beth Mead in Wolfsburg. It may have been a different game had she been able to play. Of course, she was suspended. But we're out of Europe now. We can concentrate on trying to win that league title and the FA Cup. It's international break, of course, for the women this coming weekend. So we're now going to focus on there, and we've had that comment from Ajand already. So we have played 11 minutes now here at Selhurst Park. It's Crystal Palace 0, Arsenal 0. Still, it's quite a cagey game, really. Crystal Palace started well, but Arsenal have gained a little bit more possession, a little bit more control. Lacazette now plays the ball back to Granit Xhaka, and then plays it square to Gabriel. Now Gabriel plays it to his near side. Bukayo Saka again. Is he going to have a run at Mitchell? He does. Cuts inside, finds Martin Odegaard. Thomas Partey does manage to get the ball out to Cedric Soares on his near side. A low cross looking for Lacazette, but it's tidied up there by Crystal Palace. Anderson it was. Joachim Anderson, the Danish defender for Crystal Palace, got that ball away. And going out for life says there, smash the likes, guys. Yes, indeed. If you are enjoying the show, please give it a like. If you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing as well. We are getting reasonably close to 1,000 subscribers now. We're about 70 odd away, 70 or 80 away. So please consider subscribing if you haven't done so already, and give it a like. Lots going on the channel. Tomorrow night we've got a Tuesday clinic where we'll be looking back on this game, looking ahead to Brighton, talking about the top four race, and a few other bits and pieces as well, no doubt, on the back of this game. Some of the injuries and players that we got missing. Crystal Palace in possession now on his near side. Wilf Zaha again. Cedric is determined to stay really close to Zaha, isn't he? But Mitchell now with that ball. That's a good ball actually round, looking for the run of Mateta, but Aaron Ramsdale is there comfortably to get that ball away. Rolls it out to Thomas Partey. He plays it to Gabriel. You can see the pattern of the game. Arsenal looking to try to keep possession, and Crystal Palace, when they get the ball, they are looking to get it forward quickly through either Wilfried Zaha or Jean-Philippe Mateta, looking to get the ball forward at every opportunity when they can. That's a long ball from Ben White. Over hit, actually, I'm not quite sure who that was meant for. Anyway, it's gone behind for a goal kick to Crystal Palace. Sometimes you've got to keep possession. It's all very well playing a long ball if it's going to be a good long ball, but sometimes you just got to keep possession, and that was a poor ball that was there from Ben White. The referee currently is, or is it one of the linesmen actually? He's having a little bit of problems with his electronic system, communication system, just getting it plugged back in again. We've got a stranger in the chat. Kevin, how you doing, Kevin? Good, nice to see you again, mate. I hope you're well. It's been a while since I've seen you. I thought you'd gone to another channel. I'm glad you're back. I hope you're well, and look forward to your comments as well tonight. Anyway, I think is it a free kick to Crystal Palace? Guaita's got the ball at the minute. He's just put it on the floor, and then he goes long. Actually, that wasn't a very good clearance at all. It's gone straight to Smith Rowe. Plays the ball across to Bukayo Saka, and then Martin Odegaard tries to loft it to this near side. Good touch from Cedric Suarez actually, but he couldn't get the pass away to Bukayo Saka, and it's gone out for a throw to Crystal Palace. In fact, it's a throw to Arsenal. It must have come off a Crystal Palace player. Saka is going to take it. No, he isn't. He leaves it instead to Cedric Suarez in front of those Arsenal fans in this corner here at Selhurst Park. Cedric with this throw for Arsenal into the penalty area. Ball whipped across the box actually there from Thomas Partey it was, but it was too close to Guaita. The Crystal Palace goalkeeper was able to comfortably gather that. But it was a good ball actually, a good run from Thomas Partey. Nice ball, no one attacking that near post. And it was comfortable in the end for Guaita. And this kick from the Crystal Palace goalkeeper is a lot better. Goes all the way through to Ben White though. Gabriel then hooks it forward, but not very accurately. And Jeffrey Schlupp manages to get there for Crystal Palace. Now Wilfried Zaha, who was fouled by Ben White. Another free kick against Zaha. He's got a couple already, hasn't he, in the opening stages of this game. We've played 15 minutes at Selhurst Park. And Ben White did go right through the back there of Wilfried Zaha. Maybe fortunate not to get a yellow card, actually. The referee's Paul Tierney, actually. So although we haven't got Kieran Tierney, we have got a Tierney on the pitch, the referee, Paul Tierney, who's given this free kick to Crystal Palace, which Conor Gallagher is going to take. I'm sure, being a Chelsea loanee, he'll be desperate for Crystal Palace to win this game to help his parent club out. But anyway, he's taking his free kick. It's about 10 yards in from this near touchline, midway inside the Arsenal half. It's a good delivery, actually, from Conor Gallagher to the far post. Header comes across, and it's a goal for Crystal Palace. It's Mateta with the goal. We've played 16 minutes. Robert says their goal. Indeed, it is a goal. And it is a bad start for Arsenal. It was that free kick from Gallagher to the far post. Header back across the goal. I'm not quite sure it was. It headed that back across the goal, actually. It was a good free kick from Gallagher. It was at the far post. The header came in, and Mateta from about 6 yards headed it past Ramsdale. Deep free kick. It was headed back across the goal at the far post. In fact, it was Anderson. It was the big Danish defender headed it back across the goal. In fact, it luckily came off the back of his head. A little bit fortunate there, but Mateta made the most of it with the finish there from the edge of the box. In fact, Anderson didn't really know what he was doing. It just come off the back of his head, and Mateta couldn't really miss from 6 yards. And Crystal Palace have this early lead. 15 minutes gone. Robert says there was a foul. Was there a foul? I'm not sure if it was a foul, really. I've just seen a replay of it. I think they both kind of went for the ball together, but the goal's been given anyway. It is 1-0 to Crystal Palace, and Arsenal have got it all to do in this game at Selhurst Park, which was always going to be a difficult game. It's even more difficult now, isn't it? The first goal quite often is important in any game, and it is going to be in this one as well. So Arsenal have got to try and come from behind. Not something we've been used to in recent weeks, is it? We've generally been scoring first and getting ourselves in front. Of course, the fact that Crystal Palace have scored the first goal means I won't be able to do the 1-0 to the Arsenal chant either, which is a bit annoying. But anyway, Crystal Palace now back in possession, and they won a free kick. It was a goal, or is it Arsenal free kick? I think the goal scorer Mateta has just committed a foul there on Ben White. And Arsenal now not the best start to this game. Just looked as though we were settling down, actually, following a fast start from Palace. But it's Palace that's got the goal from that free kick. Palace haven't actually lost the game in which they've scored first this season. 7 wins and 6 draws from the 13 games that they've took the lead. So that's not a good stat, is it, from an Arsenal perspective? But anyway, there's plenty of time left. That's the main thing. The goal came on 16 minutes, so there's loads and loads of time left for Arsenal to turn this around. But we haven't actually created a chance in this game yet. Coming up towards the 20-minute mark. It is Arsenal now losing 1-0. That goal there from Jean-Philippe Mateta, who's been in good form for Crystal Palace in recent weeks. He's continued that tonight. Cedric Suarez now picks the ball up for Arsenal, exchanges passes with Bukayo Saka on this near side, but Wilf Zaha wins it back. And as Herman puts in the chat there, and he's right as well, he says, and now we'll see what Arsenal is made of. Kevin says, need pace up front so we can get behind them. Lacazette too slow for this game. Yeah, but I mean, look, Lacazette, the way Arteta wants the centre forward to play is he wants the centre forward to drop deep, and he wants the wide players to get into the box. And that's the style he's playing, which means Lacazette isn't going to score as many goals, and he doesn't have that pace. But that's not the way that we're set up to play, is it? We did have, of course, a quick forward, didn't we? In Aubameyang, had a great scoring record against Palace, actually, but he is, of course, now gone. But we don't have that threat anymore, do we? The goals are coming more from a wide area. Smith Rowe and Saka are two top scorers. Cross comes into the near post there from Jordan Ayew, but Arsenal do deal with that one. It's a long ball forward. There's no Arsenal player in the Crystal Palace half, and Guaita has got possession now. Rajandra says they're Crystal Palace showing lots of energy. Yeah, they are. They've had a really fast start, Crystal Palace. Some of these players will be playing for their Wembley place, won't they? Coming up in a couple of weeks' time, the FA Cup semi-final against Chelsea. Crystal Palace looking to get to the final again, as they did in 2016, of course, if you remember, when they lost to Manchester United. In fact, they've played Manchester United in two finals, haven't they? In the FA Cup, lost both. It won't be Manchester United they'll play. It could be their cross-city rivals, though, couldn't it? The other semi-final, Manchester City against Liverpool as well. But that's not for tonight. That's the next few weeks. For now, Arsenal got to concentrate on trying to turn this game around and beat this Crystal Palace side, a very good Crystal Palace side, you have to say, with some very good players. And they have got the perfect start. They would have wanted a start like this, wouldn't they? Arsenal haven't done enough so far in this game. Wilf Zaha now on this near side, just inside the Crystal Palace half. Faced with Bukayo Saka, he goes back to Mark Gay. And that's a long ball forward, but it's going to run all the way through to Aaron Ramsdale. In fact, Gabriel gets there first and plays a short pass to Ben White. Arsenal all in yellow. Gabriel again now trying to bring the ball forward for Arsenal, closed down by Conor Gallagher. It was his free kick, of course, that did lead to that goal scored by Mateta. Thomas Partey plays it. Arsenal trying to play around at the back, almost a loose pass there from Gabriel. He's been a little bit shaky, actually, in the opening 21 minutes here tonight. He's made a couple of mistakes, almost made a mistake there. That was a nice flick from Zaha. Zaha in possession again, trying to get his Jeffrey Schlupp in, but Arsenal do just about deal with it. And there's a chance for a counter-attack. Is there? No, there isn't, because Anderson has come in again well there with a clearance for Crystal Palace. Kevin says midfield playing it too slow, no drive. Come on. Yeah, no, you're right. We haven't got the energy in midfield. We haven't got. We are, I think, to be passing the ball too slowly. You're absolutely right. And sometimes when you come back off the international break, it can be difficult to get going again in the next game. Playing on a Monday night probably doesn't help either. Conor Gallagher just conceded a free kick there for handball, which he was complaining about, but it was a handball. But Cedric Suarez is going to take this free kick. Mikel Arteta looking a little bit concerned on the touchline, and you can understand why. It hasn't been a very good start from Arsenal so far. But of course, the good news, as far as we're concerned, is it is still early days. But Zaha battling away with Cedric Suarez. It was a good physical battle there, actually. And Cedric Suarez just about come out on top, actually, but he has conceded a throw. Zaha felt as though he was fouled, and he's not happy, but then he tends not to be happy anyway. Most of the time, let's face it, he always thinks he's been fouled, isn't he? But it is a throw to Crystal Palace in the attacking third of the pitch. Arsenal going to have to deal with this early pressure. 22 minutes, 23 minutes we've played. It has been a good start. This from Palace. Mark Gay there plays the ball back to Anderson. Tries to play his work to the far side. There's another chance now for Ayew. Oh, and it's 2-0. Disastrous start from Arsenal. 23 minutes gone. Jordan Ayew with a goal. Anderson with his second assist for Crystal Palace. That was a great ball, actually. It should have been cut out. It wasn't cut out. And it's Jordan Ayew with the goal. I think that's only his third goal of the season. It was Gabriel should have cut that out, and he didn't. Terrible goal to concede from Arsenal. A long ball from Anderson. The ball must have gone 35, 40 yards. Wasn't cut out. There's a big, massive gap there was in the Arsenal midfield. Gabriel should have cut it out. He didn't. It was on halfway line, that pass. Gabriel completely missed it. I said he's had a shaky start to the game, and that just sums it up, really. Just not switched on at all. He stretched, couldn't get there. Good take from Ayew. Actually, that's a good finish from the Ghanaian. And a good ball, actually, from Anderson to open that chance up. Gabriel should have cut that out. Tavares needed to come across quicker. He didn't. And Arsenal now have got a mountain to climb here at Selhurst Park tonight. It's Crystal Palace 2, Arsenal 0. Patrick Vieira 2, Mikel Arteta 0. As Rajendra says there, 0-2 to Palace. Herman says Arsenal is sleeping at the wheel. We certainly are sleeping. But again, I'll go back to what I said before. It is still early days. And if you are going to go behind in a game, but the way Crystal Palace are playing at the minute, they're ripping us apart. Wilfried Zaha now on the near side cuts in. Is he going to try a shot? Good tackle, actually, from Gabriel that time. That was better, but only as far as Tyrick Mitchell across to the far post, over hit. And Crystal Palace are dominating this game. Terry says there he took it well. Good goal. But no, he did take it really well. Poor defending. Gabriel misread that pass, but he did take it well. Good first touch, and then a really good finish from Ayew. Not really noted for his goal scoring, is he? He doesn't score that many goals, but he took that one well. And Arsenal now are in big trouble. 25 minutes gone here at Selhurst Park. Crystal Palace 2, Arsenal 0. And Crystal Palace just won the ball back again. Jeffrey Schlupp plays it back to Anderson, who's already got 2 assists. The centre-back for Crystal Palace. And it is 2-0 to the hosts. And so it's a big job now for Arsenal. Tom's in the chat there doing Tom. He says, well, this is awkward. Well, it is very awkward, isn't it? 2-0 down. But Arsenal coming forward again. They know it was a foul there on Mitchell. And it is going to be a free kick to Crystal Palace. And yes, it is quite awkward, yes. I mean, I don't know if that's quite the right term for it. But anyway, it's been a terrible start from Arsenal. We haven't created a chance yet. Crystal Palace have scored 2, and they've had 1 or 2 other moments as well. We really do need to wake ourselves up and get going in this game if we're going to try to find a way back. That free kick there, that was going to run to Aaron Ramsdale just outside his penalty, a long ball forward. But again, it's Crystal Palace picking up the second balls. And again, Arsenal are asleep. And Mateta's got in behind. Not quite sure what's going on here tonight. This is a really, really poor performance this from Arsenal. Zaha now on this near side, plays it back to Mitchell. He plays it back to Gay. And now Anderson plays it back to Gay, of course, the New England international. So Crystal Palace have got a few now, haven't they? It's a good season for Crystal Palace. That ball they're looking for Zaha. Again, it's not very well defended by Arsenal, but Nuno Tavares has now got the opportunity to bring it out. He does find Emil Smith-Rowe, plays it inside to Thomas Partey, gets it back Smith-Rowe. This is a bit better from Arsenal, but again, we're crowded out in midfield. And we do win a free kick there. Mateta's foul on Thomas Partey. Tom said, good mate. I watched the women's game earlier. We put in a decent performance. We needed Beth the other night. No, we did. Yeah, we missed 100%. And yeah, unfortunately, we couldn't make it through. But anyway, this conference, I'm trying to win that league now and the FA Cup as well. Terry says, yeah, just showed Arteta a look on his face. He ain't got a clue what to do. Still 45 minutes before he brings Eddie and Pepe on. Well, he can't bring Pepe on because Pepe's not on the bench tonight. So he definitely won't be bringing Pepe on. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see Eddie and Ketcher later on. But now also coming forward, Lacazette on that far side inside the penalty. He plays the ball back to Thomas Partey. A shooting opportunity. Oh, brilliant tackle on him actually. But the ball falls to Cedric Suarez. Now Bukayo Saka on this near side. Puts across into the near post. Header comes in from Lacazette over the top of the crossbar. And another opportunity goes begging there for Arsenal. A little bit better though. Thomas Partey just about to shoot. There's a great tackle on him actually from Conor Gallagher. Because Thomas Partey did score, didn't he, for Ghana in the recent international break. Lacazette there headed over from Bukayo Saka's cross from this near side. Good feet from Saka. Good cross actually as well. But under a little bit of pressure there, Lacazette couldn't keep his header down. It's gone over the crossbar and into the stand behind the goal. What used to be the Sainsbury's end. I'm not sure Sainsbury's is still there actually. But anyway, not been to Selhurst Park for a while. It is my dad's family are from the area. I used to go there quite a lot. But not been there for a while actually. It is a great old stadium. But it isn't a very good stadium for Arsenal tonight. It is Crystal Palace 2, Arsenal 0. Very, very poor performances from Arsenal so far. But you have to give credit to Palace. They're playing really well. They're definitely up for this game, aren't they, Crystal Palace? Patrick Vieira's got them really fired up against his former club. And you have to say they're playing really well. Tom says, I'm going to the semi-final at Meadow Park. I'm going to the Aston Villa game on the 1st of May. So hopefully if you're going to that one, I can meet you there if you want, Tom. That'd be good. I can't make the semi-final, unfortunately, next week. But yeah, I will be going to the Aston Villa game, last home game in the league. Herman says that Arsenal at best is very inconsistent. I mean, to be fair, we've put together a consistent run of results. Haven't we? The performances haven't always been great. We've been in good form recently, but we've got a performance like this in us, unfortunately, and they do come out every so often. That was a good ball, actually, from Ben White to Smith Rowe on that far side. Finds Tavares into Xhaka. Now Smith Rowe again. A little bit better this from Arsenal. Smith Rowe, good defensive work, though, from Ayew. Their second goal scorer actually wins the ball back for Crystal Palace. They're winning every challenge. They're winning every second ball, and that's a handball there against Smith Rowe. Tom says, blimey, get Martinelli on at like 10 minutes ago. I don't know how fit he is, actually, because obviously he wasn't fit enough to start the game, was he? Kevin says, it must be frustrating for Arteta as the players just haven't started. Not Arteta's fault, the players have to step up. Well, no, I mean, I'm not necessarily blaming Arteta, but Arteta's the one who gets the players fired up for the game. You can clearly see which team is more fired up for this game. And in a way, you could say maybe Crystal Palace are playing in the way, in the style of their manager. It's the way he played, very aggressive on the front foot. And that's how Crystal Palace have approached this game, whereas we've been very passive so far. And that's why it is, as you can see on the screen there, Crystal Palace 2, Arsenal 0. And you have to say Crystal Palace fully deserve this lead. But there is still plenty of time. We've played half an hour. Hopefully Arsenal can improve. We certainly can't get much worse. And find a way back into this game if we can. Terry says there, mind you, the run of wins we had is teams we should be beating. Well, yeah, I mean, we're Arsenal. We should be beating everybody, let's be honest. But no, you're right. They were favourable games. And obviously we've now got some much more difficult games. And of course, starting with this one, which is proving to be difficult as well, isn't it? Rajendra says they're using their height advantages to win the second ball. Yeah, they've been more aggressive as well, aren't they? Good for Life says, I'm very disappointed indeed. Ball into the box there from Cedric, not really clear by Crystal Palace. Lacazette there, surely that's a foul. It is a foul, but the referee says play on because the ball ran through to goalkeeper Guaita. That was a good ball in actually by Cedric there. Not great defending, has to be said, from Guy, and then Lacazette just pushed him over inside the penalty area, and the ball rolled off the Frenchman's foot and into the arms of Vicente Guaita. And Crystal Palace now coming forward again on this near side. That's a really good touch actually from Mateta, the first goal scorer. That was going to run through to Ramsdale, kicks it long, deep into the Crystal Palace half, and Anderson's there with a clearance that goes out over on that far side, not far from the dugouts over there. Patrick Vieira is now standing up, watching the action, looking not as maybe as happy as you would have imagined he would be, the way the game's gone for them so far. Anyway, Arteta's nowhere to be seen at the moment. He's very quiet. He's standing there. Normally, he's more animated than he has been so far in this game. Crystal Palace again playing some nice football in midfield. Guy now, Mark Guy plays it to Tyrick Mitchell. Of course, those two played for England, as we said. But Arsenal do win the ball back. Martin Odegaard, but Wilfried Zaha's won it back for Crystal Palace. Plays it a good ball into the channel here for Mateta, the goal scorer of the first goal. Gives it back to, it was actually Mitchell there. Was he fouled on the edge of the penalty area? Referee says no. And it's going to be a goal kick to Arsenal. It's Bukayo Saka with the challenge there. It was nice play though from Crystal Palace. But it did look as though it was a foul by Saka, pushed him in the back. The two young English players coming together as they have done a few times in the opening 33 minutes here at Selhurst Park. But Crystal Palace have definitely had the better of things. It is Crystal Palace 2, Arsenal 0, and you have to say that's pretty much been the story of this game. Can Bukayo Saka keep this in? He cannot, in front of them Arsenal fans there on this near side as we look. And it's going to be a throw to Crystal Palace. Of course, one of only 2 defeats we've suffered against Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park came in 2017. It was a 3-0 defeat. That was our biggest ever defeat against this opposition. And Crystal Palace have got the opportunity to match that tonight, haven't they, if they carry on the way they're playing. But we have only lost twice against Crystal Palace here at Selhurst Park. The first time was in 1980 when we lost 1-0, and then I say in 2017 that 3-0 defeat in the dying embers of the Arsene Wenger era, of course, the year before he left. Anyway, Thomas Partey now with in possession for Arsenal, and Arsenal do win a throw on his near side off Conor Gallagher, who's having a very good game so far for Crystal Palace. In fact, most of them are actually. He's definitely dominating this midfield battle. We spoke about that. I spoke about it with Rich, as I said, on it from Eagle Eye Football the other night on the preview, and he said the midfield battle was key. And he's proved to be right so far, because Crystal Palace have dominated the midfield battle and they are winning this game on the back of that. Ben White now plays it to Cedric Suarez. Arsenal looking to get something back before half-time, which could make a massive difference. Bukayo Saka cuts in from this near side. But again, he loses out to Wilfried Zaha, who's actually done a good lot of defensive work tonight so far for Crystal Palace, who have just won another free kick there. Was it a foul by Bukayo Saka or possibly Lacazette? I think Bukayo Saka was claiming he was fouled by Wilf Zaha just in the build-up to that game. Of course, Saka's back following his absence from the England squad with COVID, but he looks fine tonight. Not had his greatest influence on the game as yet, but he's not really had much of the ball, has he? Arteta chatting to his coach, of course, on the sideline there now. The two of them look as though they can't quite understand how flat this performance has been. But it's their job to try to change it if we can, because we certainly don't want to be losing this game, do we? There's another foul there conceded by Tavares, who's having a torrid time as well. Him and Gabriel just not really linking up at all well over on that left-hand side of defence for Arsenal. Tavares flew into that first one, and then when Conor Gallagher won the ball back, Tavares got the wrong side of Ayew and fouled him. You have to say Conor Gallagher is having a fantastic match for Crystal Palace. It makes you wonder why Chelsea have loaned him out. But anyway, it doesn't matter too much they have. And Robert says there, we are slow like at the beginning of the season. Partey's caught out of play when we're going forward. He is a lamppost tonight. He needed to get more forward. No, I mean, it's Conor Gallagher has just been dominating, hasn't he? He took that free kick quickly again. We're asleep over on that far side of the ball into the near post. We managed to just about defend that, but actually offside has been given. We're asleep again. That quick free kick. Conor Gallagher towards Wilfried Zaha. Oh, he was offside. He did go too early there, Wilf Zaha. A dangerous ball into the near post. Actually, Tavares did well that time to cut that out, in actual fact, because it was looking a little bit dodgy for Arsenal again. Trying to play it out from the back. And again, Crystal Palace are putting us under pressure. Conor Gallagher's literally everywhere. Bukayo Saka on this near side now does win the ball back for Arsenal. It does go back to Aaron Ramsdale again. He plays it out to that far side to Gabriel. Now Arsenal in midfield, Thomas Partey now. Can he get the ball over to that far side? No, he can't. Gabriel steps in, but again, Crystal Palace win it back. And Nathaniel Klein, that's a nice turn actually there from, I think it was Kuate, and now it's Ayew, the second goal scorer. Plays it back to Conor Gallagher. Crystal Palace coming forward again down that far side. That's going to be another free kick, is it? No, the play goes on. It's Ayew again to Gallagher over on that far side. Keeps it in, the Chelsea loanee. Certainly the player of the moment in this game. He's been brilliant in these opening 37 minutes for Crystal Palace. The ball's now back with the goalkeeper, Guayata. Tony C says, evening Richard and evening Terry, how you doing? Yeah, evening to you, Tony, as well. Hope you're well. Let's hope you can bring Arsenal a bit of luck, because so far in this game, we've not playing well at all. We need something. Another ball forward. It's a run in behind from Wilf Zaha inside the penalty area. He's twisting and turning. Zaha plays it back to the edge of the penalty. A shot comes in. A good save from Ramsdale. That was Mateta with the effort. Almost a third goal for Crystal Palace. They are ripping us apart in this game so far. You have to say it's been difficult for Arsenal. There's a lovely ball through again. Pace there from Wilf Zaha at the wrong side of Cedric. Played the ball back to the edge of the penalty area. Mateta certainly got hold of that shot. It was a little bit too close to Ramsdale. Made a good save and managed to get it out in the second attempt. But again, Crystal Palace is ripping through us at the moment. If we're not careful, this game could have run away from us before half-time, but it is still 2-0. We've played 38 and a half minutes, 38 and a half difficult minutes for Arsenal, being pretty much under pressure from the start. We've had one or two brighter moments, but we haven't put the Crystal Palace goalkeeper, he hasn't had to make a save yet in this game. Cedric Suarez now finds Martin Odegaard on this near side. Can Arsenal improve, get a goal before half-time? Could change the whole complexion of this game. Gabriel plays out to that far side. Nuno Tavares finds Smith Rowe, finds Granit Xhaka. This is a little bit better from Arsenal. Plays it back to Tavares. Good ball up the line to Smith Rowe, but he's offside. And again, another Arsenal attack comes to nothing. Arteta's going to sit down, take a drink. He's not looking very happy. I think there might be a few words said at half-time if things don't improve. Tom says there, Arteta looks furious, and so he should be. Indeed, he is. He looks so furious that he's normally up and shouting on the touchline, isn't he? He's just trying to calm himself, I think. But I'm sure he's going to have some words in those dressing rooms at half-time. He's back on his feet again now. It's been a terrible, terrible first half from Arsenal, you have to say. But you've got to give Crystal Palace credit because they've played really well. Another almost mistake there from Gabriel, who's been very, very shaky. Not quite sure what's wrong with him. He's not been on his game at all, Gabriel. Herman says there, Richard, how are you holding up your nerves? Well, it's to be honest with you, at 2-0 down, there's not much to be nervous about now. I just sort of hope we can find a way back into it. Robert says there, we are panicking and are all trying to clear it while in possession, playing more defensive rather than looking for space while attacking. We miss Tierney. Yeah, we're missing Tierney. But Crystal Palace are working hard, aren't they, off the ball, and that's making it difficult for us. But anyway, there is still time. We've played 40 minutes. If we can find a goal in these 5 minutes for half time, it could, I say, make a massive difference. Odegaard now a little bit of space, tries to thread the ball through to Lacazette. But it was Mark Guy there, read it well. But Arsenal back in possession. Cedric Suarez, this is better from Arsenal. Shot from Martin Odegaard on the edge of the box, hits a defender, and now Crystal Palace can come forward on a counter-attack. This is going to be the danger, the pace they've got. Wilfried Zaha has just ran 40 yards. Odegaard's come back to challenge him. Zaha falls over but still manages to keep possession. Kevin says there, just tried a pass through Palace defence and it shows no pace up front. Indeed, it has a look at the pace Palace have got. Tom says that bottle of water probably has vodka in it. Well, it probably needs to have vodka in it. If he's going to calm himself down before half-time, as long as it's not Russian vodka, he'll be all right, won't he? Because I'm sure that'll be banned from all Premier League grounds. Crystal Palace in possession again. This is Mark Guy, plays it up this near side to Wilf Zaha. Again, he's got Cedric Suarez for company. Plays it back to Guy and Anderson. They exchange passes to two Crystal Palace centre-backs. Haven't really been put under too much pressure defensively so far. That was a hopeful ball forward, really, though, from Guy, and Arsenal did manage to pick up possession. But it's cleared away by Anderson. It is going to be a throw to Arsenal over on this near side. Patrick Vieira not looking quite as slim as his playing days for Arsenal, but he's certainly doing a great job here at Selhurst Park. I still think it's a rehearsal one day for the Arsenal job, but we'll see. Arsenal are coming forward now on that far side. Smith Rowe, can we get this goal? We've got 3 minutes left of this first half to try to find something from this game. It's been a very, very poor first half from Arsenal. All aspects of the game, Crystal Palace have been better. They've been brighter. They've been more lively. They've been first to everything. They've been more physical. But Arsenal now looking to try to find something before half-time if we can. But again, we're giving the ball away. Crystal Palace coming forward again at pace through the midfield. And it's a foul there by Thomas Partey. And it will be a free kick to Crystal Palace. Terry says there, was thinking the same. Let's hope Uncle Pat gives him a few pointers. Yeah, well, let's see. Something needs to happen because it's not been great. Robert says, yes, Rich, Palace, we could do what they do and better. What players we need to understand is they will get tired and they are younger and fresher than Palace. We should give them trouble in the second half, maybe. And Tony C says there, Uncle Pat going to give him a good spanking. Yes, I'm sure he will. We are now 2 minutes away, plus stoppage time for the end of the first half. That has been Crystal Palace's half. There's absolutely no doubt about that. They have got a 2-0 lead, which they do fully deserve. We have to be honest about that. It's been desperately poor from Arsenal. We need to see a big improvement in the second half. That throw there taken by Tavares. Got out for another throw to Arsenal. Tavares has lasted a little bit longer than his last start, which was in the FA Cup against Nottingham Forest, when he was taken off after about 30-odd minutes. He's had a bit of a torrid start to this game as well, and it's now going to be a throw over on that far side to Crystal Palace. Will Tavares have come out for the second half. You have to say there isn't another left back on the bench, is there, actually? So unless Mikel Arteta decides to go free at the back with Rob Holding, that could be an option maybe in the second half. Put another body in midfield because that's where Crystal Palace have been winning the ball. Conor Gallagher's had a great game. Anyway, there is a slight injury now to a Crystal Palace player on that far side. I can't see who it is yet. So it's going to be a free kick. I know it's a throw. It's actually Mateta who's gone down, the first goal scorer. It'd be a big loss for Palace if he has to go off because he's had a great game. He's a big lad. But he's back on his feet again. It is going to be a throw to Crystal Palace, which Nathaniel Clyne is going to take. I'd almost forgotten that Nathaniel Clyne was still playing in the Premier League, actually. But anyway, he's taking that throw. Crystal Palace again got an opportunity on the edge of Arsenal penalty. That's better defending. Bukayo Saka scoops the ball forward into the Palace half. Lacazette's chasing it, but Anderson's there again. He's had a good game, actually. Robert says, what we bought that Tavares for, I do not know. He's so crap. I quite like Tavares, but he's having a bad time at the minute. I don't think the fact that he got hauled off against Nottingham Forest and hasn't played since has really helped his confidence. But anyway, Cedric Suarez now coming forward on the near side, finds Martin Odegaard into the last final. The minute of stoppage time, about with the far post, looking for Lacazette. Good defending, actually, that was from Nathaniel Clyne. And now Jordan Ayew can bring the ball forward for Palace up that far side. We are now into this minute of stoppage time at the end of the first half. It is still Crystal Palace 2, Arsenal 0. Really poor first half from Arsenal. But are we going to have time to get ourselves back into this game before the break? Ben White now on halfway. Finds Cedric Suarez on this near side. Plays it back square to Gabriel inside the centre circle. Gabriel plays it forward to Granit Xhaka. Terry says when you need your manager, Arteta goes and sits down. Yeah, he's all very well when Arsenal are playing well. He likes directing things, but he's not able to change things, is he? This is the problem, but we'll see what happens here. Smith Rowe plays it into the penalty to Tavares. Smith Rowe gets it back, and Arsenal won a corner. Will there be time to take it? We have played the minute of stoppage time. This may well be Arsenal's first corner coming at the very end of this first half. Robert says there is a reason why he was benched. Remember, his mistakes cost us many games. He has made mistakes. He's a young player, isn't he? He's still learning. We need to give him time. But ultimately, he's had a torrid first half. Arsenal got a corner here. Are we going to get a goal back? We played more than we played over the minute of stoppage time. Smith Rowe, that corner from the far side towards the other 6 yards. Header comes in from Gabriel, but it's too close to goalkeeper Guaita. And there goes the half-time whistle. Arteta is storming off towards the tunnel, deep in thought. He's got to change something here at half-time. It was Crystal Palace came flying out of the blocks at the beginning, actually. It took them just 15 minutes to get the lead. It was a free kick from the near side, Conor Gallagher. It was headed back across the goal by defender Joachim Anderson, and Mateta headed in from about 6 yards. Arsenal really were all over the place, and it was 2-0 not long after. It was a long ball forward from Anderson. Gabriel misjudged it. Tavares was asleep, and Ayew took a good touch, Jordan Ayew, and curled the shot into the far corner. A decent finish, actually, from the Ghanaian to make it 2-0. Palace had another opportunity with Mateta with a shot from the edge of the box, which produced a good save from Aaron Ramsdale. But it's been a desperately disappointing first half from Arsenal. We haven't got going. We haven't really tested the Crystal Palace defence at all. We haven't managed to string 3 or 4 passes together. It's been really, really poor. It is at half-time here at Selhurst Park, Crystal Palace 2, Arsenal 0. And you've got to say Crystal Palace deserve it. They've been really good in that first half. Conor Gallagher has absolutely ran that game in midfield. Wilf Zaha's looked dangerous down this left-hand side. Mateta looks a threat up front. And defensively, they've been sound and solid, working hard off the ball. We need to improve in this second half. Mikel Arteta's got a big 15 minutes here. And Arsenal have got a big 45 minutes coming up if we are going to get back into this game and get something to get us back into the top 4. Otherwise, we're going to suddenly find ourselves with a bit more work to do. You know, we've been in a great position, but we knew we had some tough games coming up, and this is the first of those tough games, and it's been very tough so far as well. Terry says, let's make Uncle Pat our first buy and let him bring in his own players. Terry says, if we don't get top 4, Arteta got to go. We got rid of Emery for finishing 5th. Yeah, we did. slightly different circumstance. I mean, we didn't get rid of him straight after finishing 5th. We did wait until the start of the following season. Let's try and be realistic here. I mean, at the start of the season, especially after the first 3 games, but after the back of 2 8th place finishes, I think that the priority this season was to get back into Europe and to get in that top 6. And if we don't make the top 4 from the position that we've been in, it would look disappointing. But don't forget, the season's over 38 games, and are we really the 4th best team? We're not scoring enough goals. I think we've scored the 7th highest number of goals in the Premier League, and that maybe suggests that we're not maybe good enough to be top 4. Yes, our defensive record, I think we've got the 4th best defensive record that we did have before tonight. Actually, that might change after this game. I personally think 5th place is where we are. I believe we're probably the 5th best. We've been the 5th best team this season overall. And if we finish 5th or even 6th, I don't think we should sack Arteta on that basis, because we will be back in Europe, which had to be the aim. I think next season is going to be, this season we haven't had Europe, and that's been a massive advantage to us, having less games. You can see that with the size of the squad that we've got, there's no way we would be 4th or 5th at this point in the season if we've been in Europe this season. So that's been an advantage to us in the league. Next season we are more likely going to be in Europe, and that's going to be a test. And with the European games, can we also then, with the squad that we've got, compete at the top 4 of the league? I'm not sure if we can. We'd need some big investment, wouldn't we, to improve the depth of the squad, certainly. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But if we're in Europe next season, if we finish in the top 6, obviously we shouldn't take Arteta. That would be silly, really. And see where we go next season with it, back in Europe again, and see where we are. So yeah, I think that's probably realistically what I would want. Robert says there, we have given too much time to young players. That is why we have academy with under 21s as well. We need professionals. We need experience. We need to be what we were the best in Europe. Well, we wasn't ever quite the best in Europe, was we? We didn't quite manage that, but we certainly were the best in England for a while. Kevin says they're just getting to Europe. Exactly, yeah. Let's get back into Europe and see where we are. Robert says have a Yorkie. Yeah, I probably won't have a Yorkie at the moment, actually, because it's a bit of a funny time of the evening to be eating Yorkies, really. You've got to be careful what time you eat chocolate. You don't eat too late at night there. Herman says kudos to the British government for sending the top-of-the-line anti-tank launchers to Ukraine. That's obviously a little bit of news on the political situation, which we don't want to get really into too much on this channel, really. We don't want to get shut down as well, which we don't want to really do we? But anyway, they're just showing the goal again. The first goal, Conor Gallagher's free kick to that far post. It was good movement over on the far side from Crystal Palace. Arsenal's defence was too static. We allowed that ball to go all the way across to the far post. It was a one-on-one situation there, Anderson and Tavares. Anderson got there, deflected across the goal, and no one was running with Mateta, simple header to put it in to the gaping goal. So poor defending from Arsenal. Didn't really keep a very good defensive line in the lead up to that anyway. It was a good delivery, actually, a really good free kick. But poor defending from Arsenal. Terry says there, even if we get top 4, money-wise, good for us, but our heads will drop getting beat with the way Arteta gets us to play in Europe. Well, we'll see. It could be possible that the way that we play, the system that we play, actually might be more suited to European football, actually. I know it didn't really work out in the Europa League last season, but having said that, though, we've changed the way that we play, we've changed the personnel, and you've got to be honest and say that possibly we may well be well suited to Europe in the style that we play. I do think the problem more than anything is the depth of squad, the quality that we've got after the first 11, and we've seen tonight a couple of players missing, and even just Tierney missing, and we're all over the place. So yeah, we have got that to look at as well. But I think the progress, we needed to make progress this season, and progress is getting back into Europe. If we achieve that, then I think overall we'd have to be reasonably pleased with the season, and hopefully we can build on that in the summer in terms of recruitment and go forward from there, and hopefully we can start to climb back. But I've got to be honest, and I've said this all season really, that I'm not convinced that Arteta is the right man to take us to the next level. Gary Neville made a comment, didn't he, the other week about the top four is probably about the maximum that we can achieve with Arteta. I tend to agree with him. I think it probably is, actually. And it'd be nice if he can be the man to get us back there, because that's where we want to be. And if he is, would we be able to progress anymore? I'm not sure. I'm not convinced. I might be wrong. Gary Neville might be wrong. Let's be honest. That's what football's about. I personally would be worried if you could take us any higher, to a higher level than that. But we'll see. Is that the ambitions of the club? We don't know, do we? We did spend a lot of money last summer. But I mean, unfortunately, it doesn't help, does it, when you see a team like Crystal Palace with a manager, an Arsenal legend in charge, playing so well, doing so well in the semi-final of the FA Cup, overachieving in the Premier League. In fact, I think if they win this game, won't they go 8th or something like that? 8th or 9th in the league. I mean, fantastic. And a great job he's doing, isn't he, Patrick Vieira? And that doesn't help Arteta's cause, does it, when you watch this? His first season in the Premier League as a manager, his first season at Crystal Palace, and look at the impact he's had already. So, I don't know. That doesn't help Arteta, does it? Let's be honest. It isn't helping him tonight. Herman says it's a matter of smart recruiting for strikers. What not always depends on lots of money. I don't think Arteta wants to buy strikers, because it's not his style of play, is it? He likes these false nines and whatever. Anyway, Tony says there, we only get a small squad because of Arteta didn't replace the players he got rid of. And also as well, I think he's very fussy with the type of players that he wants. He needs players that's going to fit with his system, which means that does reduce your numbers, especially if you're looking for a striker. He had a striker that was a 30-goal a season striker that he couldn't get him to play in the system that he needed, so he's got rid of him. Now he needs to find a striker that can play that system and still score goals. Lacazette can play the system but doesn't get the goals. And I don't know if he wants a striker that's going to. I don't think Arteta, while Arteta's manager, we will get a 30-goal a season striker. I just don't think we will. I think we're looking at the goals coming from wide areas, more goals from midfield, and a striker who's going to drop deep and link the play. That's how I can see us developing under this manager, which isn't the style of football I like, actually, particularly. I'm a bit old school, I like 2 centre forwards, 2 wingers getting crosses into the box and stuff like that. But that's not our style. But anyway, it's modern football, I guess. Terry says, I still can't see any top players wanting to come here under Arteta. I don't know about that. I'll say I think it's certain types of player that he'll buy. Mark sees in the chat, he says, time for Partey and Xhaka to step up. They've been poor so far. They've been dominated so far. They've been dominated, haven't they, in that midfield by Gallagher and Kouyaté. That's what's happened. Mark says they're slack passing. Tony C says, I like the old 4-4-2. Yeah, I do. Grew up with it, and I kind of miss it, really. All this kind of modern style of football, with false nines and inverted 10s and God knows, whatever these new formations, new positions. I don't know. I'm not a fan of them, if I'm totally honest. But anyway, we're never going to go back to 4-4-2, are we? Unfortunately. Rajendra says you would have been pleased with top 6 from the start of last season. Ferguson was poor in his first 5 seasons, but made top manager. So you've been very critical. Want us to be like Spurs and manager season. I mean, you make a fair point there, Rajendra. What you've got to remember though is Ferguson had been very successful before he came to Manchester United at Aberdeen, and I think it was St Mirren before that. He'd won a European trophy. He turned Aberdeen, a small club in Scotland, into league champions on a regular basis. He'd broken that old firm domination of Scottish football. So he came to Manchester United with a reputation. And yes, he struggled at the beginning, but obviously the club could back him because he had a record to back it up, didn't he? He could say, well, look what I've done at Aberdeen. Look what I did. Give me time, I can be successful. Arteta hasn't even got it, has he? Arteta has got no record to back it up because this is his first managerial job. Putting cones out for Pep, winning league titles and stuff under him isn't the same as being a manager, being successful as a manager in your own right. And that's the difference. If if I personally believe, and I may be wrong, but I think if Unai Emery had been given the backing of the club and the fans and everybody that Arteta's had, I think we would have been in the Champions League already. We'd have been playing in the Champions League this season. I believe if we'd been given that same backing, he didn't get the players he wanted. The club was run in a terrible way at that time, and Emery was a victim of that. Everything's changed now, and I think if Emery was given that backing, I think we would already be in the Champions League, because Emery is a proven manager, and he got to the Europa League final. He won the Europa League last year, didn't he? So, the club have made lots of mistakes, and unfortunately, while the things are changing, and yes, getting back into Europe is the next step. We shouldn't be in this position. We shouldn't be out of Europe. Really, we've just been out of Europe because of terrible decisions the club have made, and we're still making terrible decisions now. But let's see what happens. At the end of the day, ultimately, if we finish top 6, we're back in Europe. Arteta deserves the opportunity to take us forward next season and see where we go. If next season doesn't work out, if we're not challenging for the top 4, if we're not getting in the top 4, then we may have to rethink it. And there's a manager not too far away, certainly not too far away tonight, that could be top of everybody's list very, very soon. Tony's agreeing with me there. Terry as well. Tom says there, Aberdeen nearly sacked him. Well, they may well have nearly sacked him, but ultimately, look what he did. He always did well at Aberdeen. If Aberdeen were going to sack him, they more likely would have sacked him because of his demands, probably. But ultimately, he was a great manager before he went to Manchester United. And that's why Man United stuck with him. And I think that's the difference. Tony T says, that's because Arteta is a yes man. Yeah, I think you're probably right. Herman says, I don't like big money players who sit on the bench. Perhaps they should take up knitting. Yeah, possibly. Regina says, I hope he gets some attackers that are strong and fast. Attackers, yeah, I think that's the key word, attackers, not strikers. I think it will be attackers that we'll get. Attacking players, maybe from wide areas, or attacking midfield players. They're the sort of players that we'll buy under Arteta, because that's the sort of style of football that he wants to play. Terry says Arteta doesn't buy the players we need. Anyone that seems willing to come here. He bought. Okay, well, we're making a substitution now. Arteta's been proactive. Tom says there, and he's right. Gabby is coming on. He is. Who's going off? My bet would be Tavares, because he was pretty poor in that first half. But then again, so were several others. So we'll see who's going off. But Martinelli is coming on. Arteta clearly had enough of that first half, like most of us have, and he's making the changes. He says Terry says the players have come out fed up with Arteta's bullshit team talk. Martinelli on. Is it Tavares? See, I've got to be honest. I do feel sorry for Tavares. He had a poor 30 minutes of Nottingham Forest, got hooked off. He had a difficult first half. He got hooked off. Sometimes you've got to support your players. That's going to kill Tavares. How could you expect Tavares to come in tonight and play at the top of his game the way he was treated the last time he played? And he's not had a sniff since. And that's bad management from Arteta. He did the same with Cedric, but Cedric maybe was a stronger character, a more experienced player, and was able to grow into the position that he's had to play, and he's done well. Tavares has got hooked off, and it's killing him. And you can see it killed him tonight. He came onto the pitch looking nervous right from the start, and that's what's happened. And you can see what's happened. And they've hooked him off at half time, and that's not Tavares' fault. That's Arteta's fault. That's the manager's fault. Bad management. That's what that is. Not tonight necessarily, but previously. You can't expect a player that you've treated like that to come in and do a job straight away when suddenly you've got to play him because you've got an injury. That's no way to manage. You can't have a team of 11 players. You need to be able to. You need to keep your squad able to come in and do a job when they're needed. And Arteta hasn't been able to do that. And this is one of the reasons why that first half was so bad. Regenda says there, that was a bit more balanced, not like the comments from Terry, who's clearly Arteta out. Well, I mean, some people are Arteta out, and I'm not 100% behind Arteta, but if we're doing well and we're getting a result, we're finishing top 6, then that's fair enough. He's done his job. Terry said Arteta's man management skills. No, I agree. His man management is bad, and he's just killed a player there, as he did a few weeks ago or a couple of months back at Nottingham Forest. And Terry says, spot on, he ain't good enough. Well, he hasn't been good enough tonight, but we have been on a good run. We have been in the top 4, but ultimately it is where you finish that matters, not where you are halfway through the season. And we'll take the season as a whole, and we'll see where we are. But tonight has been poor, and the treatment of Tavares in recent times has been poor, and that's why he played like he did. You can't expect him to come in and suddenly do that, can you? Anyway, second half on that far side. Arsenal looking for a brighter start to this second half. Xhaka picks the ball up now. I'm not sure he's playing left back actually in the second half. Martinelli is playing in the left-sided attacking role. Smith Rowe, not sure actually where Smith Rowe's playing actually. Smith Rowe's on the ball now. We seem to be overloaded with players on that left-hand side, but no left back. Have we gone free at the back? I'm not really sure what the formation is here. I don't know if anyone else might be trying to help me out here. Gabriel. Xhaka dropped into left back maybe. He's quite a far advanced at the minute. Martinelli now looking to have an instant impact. He did score here, of course, twice, didn't he? Like, or was it one goal last season? Arsenal can't fall down. Lacazette on the edge of the penalty area. That's a good tackle actually there from Jeffrey Schlupp. It was right on the edge of the penalty area. Lacazette claiming a foul. He's gone down, holding his ankle. Referee Paul Tierney's not interested in that. But Arsenal have started this second half a lot better actually. I think Xhaka might well have dropped into left back, you know. And I think Smith Rowe's gone into that left-sided of the midfield that Xhaka was playing. And Martinelli's obviously gone to the left-hand side of the front three. Just goes to show what Arteta thought of Tavares, that he's playing a midfield player as a left-back because he didn't like the left-back he had playing. He didn't like the performance of him. But I say I actually blame Arteta for that anyway. Anyway, we've won the ball back there. Thomas Partey tries to spread the ball through, but it was a poor ball again from Thomas Partey. He's not been at his best today. And Tony T says there, true, Mr. T, we old school supporters demand better. Yeah, I think we do. And I can't accept that, you know, top four is good enough for Arsenal. You know, I know where we've been the last few years, but ultimately my aim is for us to be challenging for titles, challenging for those honours, because that's where I see Arsenal being. That's, to me, that's where we should be. And if Arteta isn't going to be able to get us there, what's the point of keeping him? I just don't get it. Herman says Van Gaal would shake up Arsenal if he's not available. No, he isn't. We wish him well, actually. Recently diagnosed, isn't he, with prostate cancer. So very sad news. I just hope he can pull through that. Great manager, of course, and a great character as well for football. So yeah, we wish him all the best, actually. Louis Van Gaal, very sad news that for him. Let's hope he can pull through. Anyway, there's a free kick currently to Crystal Palace. We played 3.5 minutes of the second half. Arteta's looking a lot more animated on the sideline now, quite angry actually. Not sure if that's with the decision of the referee, with our performance, or maybe a bit of everything. Anyway, it's a free kick on halfway, right in front of those dugouts to Crystal Palace, and it is still Crystal Palace 2, Arsenal 0. Arsenal have made that substitution at half time. Nuno Tavares off and Gabriel Martinelli on. Makes you wonder why Martinelli didn't start in the first place. But anyway, there's a long ball over the top which Gabriel should deal with. Plays it back to Aaron Ramsdale. Slightly loose touch actually, and Conor Gallagher put him under pressure. Conor Gallagher for me was a player in that first half for Crystal Palace. But Crystal Palace gained possession again. A long ball hoofed forward. Gabriel manages to win that. Now Granit Xhaka, who has definitely dropped into the left-back position. He's played there before, of course, Granit Xhaka. In fact, he had to play there quite a lot, didn't he, last season when Tierney was injured. One of the reasons we bought Tavares was as cover for left-back, because we didn't have one. And he started this match and he's had to go off, and he's not even injured. And Granit Xhaka's now having to play left-back again. But that's a good ball, actually, from Xhaka, looking for Smith Rowe. But Kouyaté got there first, and he's going to be a throw to Arsenal on this near side. Slightly better start to this first half from Arsenal. Obviously, the words of Mikel Arteta are still ringing in their ears. And that substitutional change may make a difference. Anyway, Ben White now in the centre circle for Arsenal. It's going to be a big second half, this, isn't it, for the team in yellow, if we're going to get something out of this game. I think maybe a draw we'd have been happy with at the start of the game overall, and now we would definitely be more than happy with a draw, wouldn't we? At 2-0 down. Gabriel now coming forward. Remember that game, of course, at West Ham last season? We were 3-0 down, wasn't we? We came back and got a draw. Can we do something similar in this game tonight? Ben White plays it out to that far side to Saka's not really got in this game, but he's done well there. Saka cutting inside. Saka inside the penalty area. He's going through. Bukayo Saka, he's pulled down. Is that a penalty? Referee says goal kick. Paul Tierney not giving Arsenal a penalty. Bukayo Saka with his arms out, asking the question. Let's have a look at the replay. It's a good, strong run, actually, from Bukayo Saka. Got the wrong side of Kuata, I think it was. They both kind of went down together, it has to be said. I don't think it is a penalty. It was a 50-50 challenge. Yes, he's got his arm on him. Saka had his arm out as well. I think that's probably a fair enough decision, actually. It would have been a really, really harsh penalty. Sort of penalty that if we conceded, we would have been saying, oh, it's because it's an Arsenal an agenda against Arsenal, wouldn't we, if that was given against us? So we can't really expect it to be given in our favour. But Crystal Palace have now got a free kick. Gabriel with the foul. He's not had a great game, Gabriel, tonight, has to be said. He's been quite poor, and he might be getting himself a yellow card now for his protests over that free kick decision, which Thomas Partey missed the ball initially, and he did probably drag Mateta down, and he can't really have too many complaints about that. That was a free kick, and it is a free kick. And Crystal Palace have got another opportunity to get the ball into the danger area. He's played up this near side towards Jordan Ayew, scored that second goal. Granit Xhaka holds him up briefly, and actually Granit Xhaka does well, and Arsenal do now win the ball. Lacazette plays it into the centre circle to Martin Odegaard, but that's a poor ball. Crystal Palace have won it back again. Jeffrey Schlupp, this is a good run by the Ghanaian. Is he going to get a shot away? He's fouled there by his fellow Ghanaian, Thomas Partey. And it's going to be it's a yellow card for Thomas Partey. And Palace have a free kick right on the edge of the Arsenal box. Herman says there, I haven't heard Odegaard's name lately. Well, you haven't heard Odegaard's name because he's not had the ball, quite honestly. And that was a foul there by Partey on Schlupp. I say the two Ghanaians clashing there on the edge of the penalty. That's a fifth yellow card of the season for Thomas Partey. Granit Xhaka pulls him away, tries to get him into the wall. And this is a dangerous moment for Crystal Palace, for Arsenal now. For Crystal Palace could get an opportunity to get this third goal, which would surely kill this game off. We've played poorly. We certainly don't look good enough to come back from 3 goals down. We barely look good enough to come back from 2. In this game is standing over this free kick for Crystal Palace. I don't know if he's a free kick specialist, is he? He's certainly going to be taking this one. The defender, the Danish defender, Anderson. Arsenal got a big wall. 6 players in the wall for Arsenal. 5 actually. Sorry, Odegaard's just behind. This is right on the edge of the penalty, just slightly to this left-hand side. It's an opportunity to get a strike at goal just outside the D, actually. It is going to be Joachim Anderson. If this goes in, this is going to be curtains for Arsenal, surely. Anderson with his free kick. Over the wall, good save from Ramsdale. Got his positioning right there. It was the only place he could really go unless he tried to get it over the wall. He went round the wall, inside. Good positioning from Aaron Ramsdale. Decent save. And that's one moment of worry over with. Thomas Partey then bring the ball forward for Arsenal into Cedric Suarez. But Crystal Palace again putting us under pressure, making us hurry the passes. But we've done that well, actually. But in fact, Lacazette was offside. Crystal Palace having a highlight. They've defended really well in this game, actually. You can see why they've not conceded a goal in their last 3 games and only 5 in their last 10. That's the work Patrick Vieira has done on the training ground, because they did concede too many goals earlier in the season. And he's put that right. And they look very, very organised. And that high line there caught out Lacazette. But Arsenal in possession again. Smith Rowe finds Granit Xhaka, plays it on to Martin. They're looking to make an impression, having come off the bench. I say he did score a late winner here for Arsenal last season. Gabriel now in a more advanced position, plays it square to Ben White. Arsenal now playing a lot higher up the pitch in this second half. But we've played, 9.5 minutes. It is still Crystal Palace 2, Arsenal 0. Emile Smith-Rowe now coming in off that left-hand side, finds Granit Xhaka, plays it in to Lacazette. Now Smith-Rowe attacking that penalty area, plays it out to Gabriel Martinelli on this near side, whips across into the near post. It's flicked behind by Anderson. Is it, or is it Lacazette got the header? I think it may have been Lacazette just in front of the Danish defender, and it has gone out for a goal kick to Crystal Palace. It was better from Arsenal though. Martinelli does well here, whips a good cross in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Lacazette flicked it on, but it's gone harmlessly wide of that far post. That goal kick there finds Ayew on this near side. He's done well actually. Jordan Ayew got a little bit of space, and there's space for Zaha over on that far side. Wilfried Zaha, and he was tackled there well by Cedric Suarez actually. That's a poor ball from Suarez. Gives it straight to Kouyaté. Now it's with Ayew again. Crystal Palace coming forward, looking for that third goal. in a loose ball in a penalty from Suarez. A bad mistake, actually, almost was punished there from Zaha, but the ball just ran away from the Crystal Palace winger, and Arsenal got away with that one. Bukayo Saka, that's a poor ball, actually. He was looking for Martinelli, but was never going to reach him. Nathaniel climbed there to tidy up, and then Guaita's gone long. It's gone out for a throw on halfway on this near side. But that was a terrible pass there from Cedric Suarez. Terrible clear, a terrible touch, actually. And he maybe was a bit fortunate not to have conceded a penalty there. Wilfried Zaha did go down. Gabriel finds Suarez again over on that far side. Plays it back to Ben White. Arsenal certainly do a lot more possession in these first 11 minutes of the second half without really threatening a goal, or which would or could potentially lead to a comeback. Terry says only another 15 minutes and Arteta can bring Eddie on. He might not wait that long. Tom says there's a lot of wayward passes tonight. Partey the main culprit. Indeed, he has been. There has been a lot of wayward passes. It's been a terrible performance all round. Herman says Ramsdale okay. Well, Rams hasn't really had a lot to do, has he? He's made a couple of saves, fairly comfortable saves. Couldn't do anything about the goals, could he? It's just been poor in front of him. Everybody in front of him has been poor tonight. Anyway, Xhaka now in possession for Arsenal. Plays the ball from left to right over to that far side to Bukayo Saka. It's a good touch from Saka under pressure from Wilfried Zaha, who's actually defended well for his team tonight. Mitchell as well. He's going to be a throw to Arsenal. You have to give Crystal Palace credit for this performance. They have been very, very good. And Arsenal have been very, very poor. The two things combined has led to this scoreline. Gabriel now plays the ball into Lacazette. Finds Thomas Partey. This is better. Martinelli flicks it in towards the penalty area. But again, it's a Crystal Palace head. And then a long clearance. And Zaha looking to get clear down that far side. But Cedric Suarez does well that time. Finds Ben White, gets it back, the Portuguese, and then goes back to goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale. We've played 57 and a half minutes at Selhurst Park, which plays 2 Arsenal 0. Those 2 first half goals from Mateta and Ayew has given Crystal Palace the advantage here. It's not been great from Arsenal. Second half's been slightly better so far, but we still await our first real effort on target in this game. Granit Xhaka now at left back, plays the ball up to Smith Rowe, gets it back. Granit Xhaka, and then plays it back to Gabriel. Pings the ball over to that far side again, looking for Bukayo Saka. He's got Tyrick Mitchell for company. Can he get past the young Crystal Palace fullback? He does. Tries a shot from a tight angle, and it's gone past the far post. But at least it was an effort at goal, not an effort on target. Terry says, "Yeah, we don't even look like scoring." No, we don't really. We certainly haven't done. That was a bit better from Saka though. Faced up with Mitchell. Mitchell wanted to make sure he tried to force him outside. He did manage to get back inside and have a shot there, but it went high and wide from Bukayo Saka. We're coming up towards the hour mark. Arsenal have been better second half, but nowhere near good enough. Guaita with that goal kick towards centre circle, looking for Mateta, who does well actually. He did score the first goal. He's been playing well at the moment. Apparently, speaking to Rich from Eagle Eyed Football on Saturday evening on the preview show, he did say how well Mateta's been playing. He's had a good game tonight as well. Conor Gallagher again closing everybody down, winning the ball back for Palace, but that was a foul on Ben White. And it is a free kick to Arsenal. Been really impressed with Conor Gallagher, you have to say. We've got Mark Dazelle there in the chat. Hi, Eden, mate. Not seen you in the chat for a while, actually. I hope you're well. And Herman says, attack. Well, we have been attacking, but we don't look like scoring, do we? Tony he says, we need Eddie on. You watch Eddie will come on, score a hat-trick and we'll win 3-2. That's what's going to happen. But Jack has just given away a free kick for a foul there on Ayew to prevent that counter-attack. That's probably a fair free kick to give away, actually. Anyway, it is a free kick to Crystal Palace. Jack has protested his innocence, but it was a foul. It's not a bad position to give a free kick away, if we're totally honest. If we're going to give one away, give it up the other end of the pitch. Robert says there, Ben White is standing there looking who to pass to. Wake up, man, losing the ball every time. He's not the only one. It's been a very, very flat performance from Arsenal. Crystal Palace have had a lot more energy, a lot more aggression. Guy now over on that far side. Mitchell coming forward for Palace. This is good play from Palace again. Wilfried Zaha looks for Mateta, but Cedric Suarez is across. does well there, actually wins a throw off the big Crystal Palace striker. It's going to be a throw to Arsenal on that far side in our defensive third. We have played nearly 61 minutes at Selhurst Park. Disappointing night for Arsenal so far. Crystal Palace 2, Arsenal 0. Those 2 first half goals from Mateta and Ayew. And Arsenal really struggled to create anything in this game. And as Terry rightly said before, we don't look like scoring 1, let alone the 2 minimum that we need to get something from this game. Nathaniel Clyde there with the ball up this near side, looking for Jordan Ayew. Granit Xhaka's there, tidied it up well, finds Gabriel, plays it in to Smith Rowe. Deep inside at the Arsenal half, Smith Rowe. We need him higher up the pitch, don't we? Joint top goal scorer this season with Bukayo Saka. We need something special from one of those 2 youngsters tonight now, don't we? If we're going to try to turn this game around. Granit Xhaka in the left back position, cuts inside, plays it back to Gabriel. Arsenal looking a little bit more comfortable in possession, but again, not really stretching that Crystal Palace defence. That's a long ball to this near side, looking for Martinelli. Good header from Nathaniel Clyde. Defensively, we should be testing him a bit more because he's not been playing a lot of football this season, Nathaniel Clyde. In fact, it's only the 9th game he started this season. Granit Xhaka now on this near side, plays the ball in to Gabriel Martinelli. That's a nice 1-2 with Lacazette. Good play this from Martinelli on the edge of the penalty area. Plays it in to Lacazette inside the area. It falls to Smith Rowe. Best chance of the game so far. Weak finish it was there. Lovely, intricate football there. Martinelli, Lacazette, Martinelli again. Lovely play from Martinelli into Lacazette. Played it on to Smith Rowe. About 8 yards out. First time shot of his right foot. Far too close to the goalkeeper, Guaita. Either side of him there. Good play, almost in. Again, there, good defending actually from Ben White with Mateta looking to get him, but looking to get him behind. But that was an opportunity there for Arsenal to get a goal. That's our best chance of this game, our best opening. It's taken us 62 minutes. Will that give us a lift that we need? If we can get a goal in the next 5 or 10 minutes, we'll have a chance, won't we? Cedric Suarez now plays it back to Ben White. He goes square to Gabriel. And now Granit Xhaka. This is a bit better from Arsenal. You have to say, Robert says we need Miedemar up front. More Blackstenius up front would be nice as well, wouldn't it? Both of them. Gabriel now in possession inside the centre circle for Arsenal to Granit Xhaka. Plays it back again to Gabriel. Arsenal enjoying more possession in the second half. And apart from that, just that Smith Rowe chance just a minute ago, we've not really got any opportunity to score. Martinelli's there been fouled by Kouyaté. He's dramatically gone down, Martinelli, holding his knee. Let's hope he's not seriously injured, actually, because he's only just come back from an injury, hasn't he? It was a foul there by Kouyaté. Didn't look as bad as Martinelli's making it out to be, actually. Well, actually, I think he did catch his knee, fair enough. I mean, it's painful when you catch, it was knee on knee. That is always a painful one. Let's hope he's not too badly injured there. They are the sort of ones you can generally run off, actually, but anyway, it will be painful for now. Homer says the Arsenal never seems to understand that every game is important and you have to give 110%, 100+% all the time. Well, yeah, I don't think they know how important it is, but sometimes the performance is just lacking. We seem to be lacking energy tonight, and that's been a problem actually. Robert says Xhaka told the ref off and blanked him. Yeah, Xhaka is a bit of a... Oh, look who's coming on. It's Eddie. Eddie is coming on. 65 minutes nearly we've played and he's coming on. Kevin says that Martinelli on pace has improved. Yes, he's looked a lot more lively. Herman says, Robert, I agree with you. Miedemar is 2-footed. So is Wammer, of course, the Wolfsburg player who scored a goal against us, of course, in the Champions League at the Emirates. Of course, that game I went to, which was enjoyable, but we did go out on aggregate. But it looks like Eddie Nketiah is coming on. Eddie is going to be the saviour of Arsenal tonight. He will be coming on, and who's he going to be replacing? Hopefully not Martinelli, actually, because Martinelli's struggling at the minute. He's over on this near touchline. In fact, it's Cedric that's going off. So is this going to be a total change of shape? Terry says, Eddie on now playing with 10 men. Tony C says, that sub is so predictable. Not quite who's gone off, though, taking Cedric off. We're going to go free at the back, I think. That seems to be what the plan's going to be. And Martinelli's come back on again, where he wasn't allowed to come back on again, so he had to go back off. He's still not moving that freely, but anyway, I'm sure he'll be able to run that off. He'll probably be sore in the morning, but anyway. We don't have a game until Saturday, so he's got plenty of time to rest before then. Ben White there plays the ball back to Ramsdale. So I did say Eddie was going to come on and score a hat-trick and we'd win 3-2. So let's see if my prediction comes true. He's on now, Eddie Nketiah. Saka's moved over to the left. And Eddie Nketiah now gets his first touch on this left-hand side. He's forced back, finds Granit Xhaka. Seems like Eddie's on the left as well. There's Eddie again on the left. Plays it into Bukayo Saka. Saka plays it back to Granit Xhaka again. We're overloaded on the left-hand side. Eddie now inside the penalty area. Plays the ball across the box. The shot comes in just wide from Martin Ødegaard. Another opportunity for Arsenal. That was good play from Eddie there, actually. He linked up with Bukayo Saka down the left-hand side. A decent low cross towards the edge of the penalty area. Good play from Eddie, that was. Smith Rowe found him. First time cross. A shot from Martin Ødegaard. He was leaning back a little bit. Couldn't quite get his foot around it and put it wide of that post. I think the goalkeeper probably had it covered. Homer says that perhaps Arsenal's training methods has to change or their diets. Hello, Wenger. Well, maybe, yeah. I mean, obviously, Wenger's diets made a massive difference, didn't they? Terry says there, is this Eddie's Palace debut? Now, let's not be too hard. He did well there. That was a good cross. And it almost led to a goal. And if Ødegaard has managed to finish that better, we would have got a goal. But anyway, Crystal Palace coming forward now. Conor Gallagher down this near side. Eddie's doing some defensive work. And that just shows what Arteta wants from his strikers. Ball into Ayew now. Kouyaté. Maybe fortunate he didn't get a yellow card, actually, for that foul on Martinelli a little while ago, which led to a little bit of treatment for the Brazilian. Arsenal won the ball back over on that far side. Lacazette, that's good. Now Martinelli over on that far side, running into a central position. Again, he ran into trouble a little bit there. He perhaps could have released the ball a little bit earlier. He's come instead to Xhaka, plays it back to Gabriel. Applied a little bit of pressure from Mateta. Good play from Granit Xhaka. I don't mind him playing left back, you know. He does all right there. He can read the game well. And he's sometimes better with the play happening in front of him. And that's a long ball there looking for the run of Eddie Nketiah. Nice touch, but he was dispossessed by Anderson. And now Ayew working hard for Crystal Palace. Bukayo Saka takes the ball off him. And he's going to be a throw to Crystal Palace. We've played 68 minutes. This is a big final 20-odd minutes or so for Arsenal. Crystal Palace making their first substitute. It's going to be James McArthur coming on. And it's actually Mateta. So it's a bit of a defensive change. He's had a good game, Mateta. Got himself a goal, the first goal as well. They're just going to show that again as he goes off. I think that's his 5th or 6th goal of the season for Crystal Palace. And he's had a good game up there for them. He's now going off. It's James McArthur coming on. So they're going to change their shape slightly. Crystal Palace as well. Probably going to go a little bit more defensive, which you can understand why with just over 20 minutes to play. 2-0 up, but a good game from Mateta, the French striker for Crystal Palace. I'll say it looks as though now Ayew is going to... Actually, no, Ayew isn't through the centre. I think Wilf Zaha's going through the centre. Kevin says there, why couldn't we start like this? Well, who knows? Anyway, ball played forward there from Ødegaard. Looking for Saka on his near side, but it was cut out again. But Arsenal do win possession back. We have now got just over 20 minutes to play. Are we going to find a way back into this game? Or is it going to be another defeat for Arsenal? I think it'll be our 9th Premier League defeat already, wouldn't it? Which, with 9 games to go. And we would still be trading at Tottenham, of course, as well. That ball's hooked forward, looking for Martin Ødegaard over on that far side. But again, Crystal Palace defended well. That was Mitchell with that clearance. He's had a good game as well. Arsenal now in possession with Thomas Partey. Midfield finds Granit Xhaka. Arsenal looking to try to get a goal back. A ball play to the far post. That's a good ball to Martinelli. Chests it back into the box. Comes back off Martinelli. It's going to be a goal kick, though, to Crystal Palace. Good defending from the Crystal Palace substitute, James McArthur, who's actually got the captain's armband on. Not sure I read it before then, because he's only just come on, hasn't he? But anyway, he defended well there as Martinelli was threatening. The ball did come off the Brazilian. It is a goal kick to Crystal Palace. We have now got less than 20 minutes to play here at Selhurst Park. It is Crystal Palace 2, Arsenal 0 still. Those 2 first half goals from Mateta and Ayew. And apart from that one real opportunity that Smith Rowe had, he should have maybe done better. There was a chance for Ødegaard as well, fired wide. It's about as near as we've come to a comeback in this second half. Granit Xhaka now in the left-back position, plays the ball back to Gabriel. It was going to go to Ramsdale, but Gabriel's took it away from the goalkeeper, brings it out of defence. Thomas Partey now in midfield, plays out to that far side. That's a good ball, actually, to Martinelli. Got a little bit of time over there. Gabriel Martinelli plays the ball back inside to Thomas Partey. Arsenal looking to get a goal back. Saka plays it back in to Granit Xhaka. Now Gabriel, Ben White. They just had the second half possessions come up. 80% possession for Arsenal, but we've created very, very little. Granit Xhaka now pings it in to Thomas Partey. That's a poor touch, actually. It's Eddie Nketiah, sorry. Conor Gallagher there, battling for possession. We've got the ball back. Smith Rowe, Lacazette. This is better from Arsenal. Eddie Nketiah now inside the penalty area. Crosses it to the far post. Crystal Palace get it away. Thomas Partey's made a mistake. Now Crystal Palace have got a counter-attack on with Ayew. With Wilfried Zaha, he's gone round Gabriel. Jordan Ayew, Wilfried Zaha, inside the Crystal Palace penalty area. It's a turn. He's gone down looking for the penalty there. In fact, the referee's given a penalty. Crystal Palace have got a penalty. It was a great run that was from Wilfried Zaha, actually. Mistake from Thomas Partey. He got into the penalty area. He got past Gabriel. Ødegaard coming back at him. He has caught him. It is definitely a penalty. I seem to remember Ødegaard gave away a penalty at Manchester United, very similar to that. He has caught him there. Silly challenge from Martin Ødegaard. We were talking about Zaha not getting the decisions that he normally should get, but he's got that one. Another penalty against us that Zaha has won. It looks like he's going to take this one as well. He has got a good goal scoring record against us. This is going to be the crucial moment in this game. If Zaha scores this penalty, Crystal Palace will win. I don't think there's any doubt about that. It's been a poor performance from Arsenal overall. Been slightly better in the second half, but we couldn't get the goal. We haven't got the goal. And now Crystal Palace have got the opportunity to go 3-0. Ramsdale is doing his best to delay things there, standing in front of the ball, talking to the referee, or the referee's talking to him. Ramsdale now does go back onto his line very, very slowly. It's going to be Wilfried Zaha with this opportunity to put Crystal Palace 3-0 up and pretty much kill this game off. And the Crystal Palace will be getting what they deserve from this game tonight. There's no doubt about that. So Zaha against Ramsdale. Can Ramsdale keep Arsenal at least in this game? It's just over 15 minutes to play. If this goes in, it is all over for Arsenal. Zaha against Ramsdale. Zaha to take this penalty. Sends Ramsdale the wrong way. It is 3-0. Zaha with the goal. Surely that's it. As Kevin says there, all over. Tony says game over. Tony says losing 3-0 to Palace. What's Arteta section going to say now? Terry says looking forward to hear Arteta's BS after the game. It's been a dreadful, dreadful performance. That was a silly penalty to give away, actually. Stupid it was. It came from an Arsenal attack as well. And Tom says there, bloody Partey again, poor pass. He can't. He cost us tonight. Yeah, it was a poor pass that led to that move for the penalty. We lost the ball in a dangerous position. We were short of numbers at the back. Zaha just ran at our defence. And in the end, he's drawn a foul from Ødegaard, and it's 3-0. And this is a dreadful, dreadful, dreadful performance. You have to say, though, the way Crystal Palace have played tonight, they've got the FA Cup semi-finals to come against Chelsea. They've got another chance of getting through. Chelsea not in the greatest form at the moment, as we've seen at the weekend. Terry says they're spot on. Mr. T was just going to say the same. It has been a terrible performance. Anyway, Arsenal coming forward now, just giving the ball away again. Smith Rowe. Arsenal almost look as though they've given up. In fact, Sambi Lokonga has just come on for Thomas Partey. Thomas Partey is that mistake for that third goal that cost him his place on the pitch. And Crystal Palace now bringing on Odsonne-Edouard. And he's going to replace Jordan Ayew. Scored a second goal, worked hard tonight as he usually does for Crystal Palace. He's now going off, and it's going to be Odsonne-Edouard coming on, another French player, of course, at Crystal Palace. He's a good player as well. Of course, he scored against us at the Emirates, didn't he, earlier this season. Mark says there, Spurs have momentum, do we? Spurs also have a very good manager. And we have Arteta. But anyway, Ben White now at the back for Arsenal. Can we, this would be, I know we came back from 3-0 down against West Ham last season, but that was a lot earlier in this game. It's going to take an absolute miracle if we're to pull this round. Anyway, Samuel Okongwu hasn't been on a pitch for a while for Arsenal. Another one who's maybe going to look a little bit shaky, but that was a good ball to Xhaka. Fires Bukayo Saka on his left-hand side, and he can't get past Nathaniel Klein. And Crystal Palace again can clear the ball away. They've dominated this game, let's be honest, in terms of the physicality. They've won every 50-50 ball. They've won every second ball. Wilfried Zaha is just taking the piss out of us now. And he might have just won himself another free kick. And the referee, Paul Tierney, is getting out a yellow card for an Arsenal player. Oh, it's Granit Xhaka. There's a surprise. It's not a game of football without Granit Xhaka getting booked. He did pull, got Zaha back there. And he's got himself a yellow card. Terry says here, at least we know now what Arteta, hang on, what's that? What Arteta brings to Arsenal, as if we didn't know. Yeah, well, we can't go down that route because we're not allowed. Tony says, if this ends up 4 or 5, I want Arteta sacked right after the game. That's not going to happen, though, is it, Tony? I'm afraid. I'll say if we do finish in the top 6, he'd like to keep his job. I headed up the town hall to get Arteta. I'm heading up the town hall to get Arteta out. Okay, so might be something to do. Arteta outclassed by Uncle Pat. He certainly has been. And Patrick Vieira wanted this game because it's he wants this job. There's no doubt in my mind he wants this job. Tom says, as the standard yellow for Xhaka must be his 900 for the season. It must be at least 900. And Robert says there, Xhaka was definitely going to get a yellow card, getting up to the rest nose. Exactly, yeah, that's what he got a yellow card for, not for that foul. Terry says, very diplomatic. Well, yeah, you need to try and be diplomatic. I mean, my feelings on Arteta haven't really changed. But if we're winning games and we're high up the league, then that's fine. I'm not bothered. Too many of these performances do happen, though, don't they? They're not just one-offs. They happen every so often on a regular basis. Not as many this season as last season, but they're still there. And nothing really overall's changed that much, let's be honest. But anyway, let's see what happens in these final 12 minutes. You never know. There might be some dramatic comeback. I seem to remember West Ham coming back from 3-0 down, getting a draw at Tottenham in the last 10 minutes. But anyway, Granit Xhaka now for Arsenal. Plays in Sambi Lokonga. Good ball in to Saka. Nice turn. Bukayo Saka. Oh, good save. And Smith Rowe shot on the follow-up. That saved as well. A double save there from Guaita. That's actually good stuff there from the goalkeeper from Crystal Palace. Hasn't a lot to do. The first save from Saka was really good. And now the referee's blown his whistle for some reason or other. I'm not quite sure what's happened. Was it offside maybe against Saka? It's lovely play from Saka. Nice turn. Good shot. Good save. Smith Rowe's follow-up actually was blocked on the line in front of the goalkeeper by Mark Guy there. Great defending from Crystal Palace. Oh, that was a great block actually with his thigh. Wow, unbelievable. As Robert says there, double miss. It was a double miss. It was a good save and a good clearance actually rather than a miss. You have to say that was good defending from Crystal Palace, to be fair. They're making another substitution now. It is Kuate's going off and Luka Milivojevic. I can never quite say his name. But anyway, he's coming on for Crystal Palace for these last 11 minutes. And he's got the captain's armband back because he is, of course, the club captain. Doesn't play as much these days. Patrick Vieira changing the style of play, isn't he, for Crystal Palace. Kevin says there, why is it every time we lose, it's Arteta for the sack? Come on, lads. Well, I'm not saying Arteta should be sacked now. I'm saying if he finishes top 6, he should keep his job and see what happens next season. But I understand people's frustrations because I get frustrated with Arteta and these performances do happen far too often. Mark says they're a totally lame performance from front, midfield to back. We've been off colour since the first rules. No, yeah, we've been terrible. It's been a terrible performance. And yes, terrible performances happen. Everybody has terrible performances. Even Man City do. But ultimately, in the position that we're in, we can't afford to have too many of these. And you think we've got some really tough games coming up. This isn't even the toughest game we've got left, is it? This was one of the tough ones. This was one of the ones that I looked at and thought potentially this could be one where we drop points. I wasn't expecting a performance or a result like this, but anyway, let's see what happens now. Eddie on the edge of the box there, doesn't get through. He does win the ball back though well, and now Granit Xhaka is going to pick it up for Arsenal, but I think it's all a little bit too late now. Terry says there, he should never have got the job in the first place. It shows the club has no ambition. Lacazette's just offside again for the 500th time today. And Mark C says, did we have lasagna for lunch? I'm not sure what we had. We haven't had, whatever we had didn't work, did it? That's for certain. It has been a dreadful performance from Arsenal tonight. And they've just put on our next 6 fixtures. Brighton at home, Southampton away, Chelsea away, Man United at home, West Ham away, Leeds at home. That's a tough run of games, isn't it? Obviously, the Brighton one isn't a bad game. They can't score at the minute. But Southampton and Chelsea away, Man United at home, wow. These are games where if we play like anywhere like this, we are not going to pick up too many points in any of them, are we? Anyway, let's hope this is a one-off, but I'm not convinced it's going to be. I've got to be honest. It's how we recover from this now, isn't it? Luckily, I say we've got Brighton at home on Saturday who can't score a goal, let alone get a point. And Crystal Palace came to this game in good form, let's be honest. I said I was unbeaten in 6 games, only conceded 5 in the last 10. Robert says there, it's not about sacking Arteta, it's about lack of professionals. This is always the Kroenkes' tight wallet. And why did everything on their own? But yeah, I mean, it is a lack of ambition at the club. I think it is overall. But anyway, Arsenal coming forward now down the far side with Martinelli, who's moved over to that right hand side since the substitution. Eddie Nketiah coming on. Granit Xhaka now pings the ball over there to that far. That's a good ball, actually, really good ball. Martin Odegaard gave away that penalty. That's a good touch from him. Ben White plays it in to Sambi Lokonga's actually looked pretty good since he's come on, seeing he's not played a lot of football lately in the team. Gabriel now for Arsenal. Granit Xhaka plays it to Smith Rowe on his near side. A big chance for Smith Rowe at 2-0. Could have made a difference if that goes in. Sambi Lokonga, that's a nice ball to Lacazette. Smith Rowe almost tried to find Eddie there, but Crystal Palace again defended well. Sambi Lokonga wins it back though from Conor Gallagher. Referee says play on. Eddie Nketiah now tries to curl it in. Hit the post. Eddie Nketiah's hit the post. I said he was going to get a hat-trick. Well, he came close to getting one there. Good shot from the edge of the box there. Hit the post. Good effort that was, actually. A really good effort. Has to be said. Kevin says, wow, unlucky, Eddie. That was a comment from earlier. You must be a little bit ahead of me. That was a good effort, actually. Just didn't quite curl enough, did it? It would have been a great goal. And then we just needed 2 more to get that hat-trick and get us a point. Smith Rowe now plays it in to Granit Xhaka, in to Eddie Nketiah again, but Arsenal do lose the ball. But Granit Xhaka wins it back well. Arsenal showing a little bit more urgency now. It's 3-0. Showing we didn't show this urgency a bit earlier. Martinelli whipped it into the near post. Good defending again from Mark Gay. But again, Crystal Palace can't really get the ball clear, actually. Rajendra says there it's an away game. It is indeed, and the crowd is very loud, I'm sure you mean. Yeah, they are, and it makes it difficult, but we've got a lot of away games still to play. Virginia says they will open your wallet. Sorry, Rich pressed at the wrong key. That's fine. So yeah, I mean, Tony says, yeah, Kevin, he should never have got the job. So who is happy to be losing 3-0 to Palace? No, you're right. This has been a terrible, terrible, terrible performance, and there's no getting away from that, and there's no excuse for that. And ultimately, Arteta's got to take responsibility for the performance tonight because, he's the manager. Yes, we've been on a good run, though. That's what we've got to remember. And we are 5th in the league, and we have still got a decent chance to finish in the top 4. But I'm not convinced that he's the right man to take us forward. I never have been. And these performances kind of reinforce that, don't they? Unfortunately, we all want what's best for Arsenal. We want Arsenal to be winning games. We want Arsenal to be competing for trophies and being competitive again at the top end of the league. And unfortunately, we don't seem to be doing that, do we? And the squad tonight was weak as well. The young players on the bench, 1 or 2 injuries, and we're struggling. We did say that was probably going to be the case. And that seems to be what's happening. Arsenal now getting into all sorts of trouble inside their own penalty area. But in the end, we do manage to just about scramble the ball away. Granit Xhaka then plays it to Gabriel. Wouldn't be surprised to see Palace score another goal, actually. Samuel Lokonga then plays it back to Ramsdale, and he managed to play the ball out to Martinelli over on that far side. Can Arsenal at least get a goal back in this game, make us feel a little bit better about the rest of the week? Granit Xhaka now coming forward, tries a shot from distance. It's not a bad effort. Decent save from Guaita. It's probably going to creep in that far corner. Not scored this season, Granit Xhaka. If he doesn't score for the rest of the season, it'll be the first season he hasn't scored, actually, since he's been at the club. He always pops up with one or two, isn't he? But that wasn't to be a goal for him there. Terry says, spot on, TC. And Arteta hasn't changed a thing. He ain't even tried swapping Magic and Saka around. Well, he did, didn't he? He swapped their wings around. Herman says, obviously the players must feel terrible. A good manager has to understand the way each player thinks and help them to improve. Screaming doesn't help. No, you're right. He hasn't been screaming much tonight, actually. He's probably accepted the fact that wasn't going to do any good. Robert says, looking at the chat on the websites, they are screaming for Arteta out. We need a full team. We have the worst available professional players in the Premier League. Well, we have the weakest squad depth. Definitely. Crystal Palace have got a bigger squad than us, more depth than us. Saka now on this near side, cuts inside, finds Martinelli, plays it out to Martin Odegaard over on that far side. We're into the last 3 minutes. It's going to take a miracle for Arsenal not to lose this game. Mark C says there, this is one of those games where nothing works or comes off for whatever reason. It's not our day. It hasn't been our day. And, yes, you do get games like that. And you've got to just accept that sometimes. But there's no excuse for such a poor performance. Things don't go your way, but ultimately you've got to show more. We've had no energy. We've had passing's been terrible. I don't think we've managed to string 3 or 4 passes together. We've got Paul from the Toon Review on. Thanks for tuning in, mate. He says, great watch, mate. Really enjoyed it. Bad day at the office for you guys today. No, it has been a really bad day. Actually, I just want to say congratulations to Paul. Actually, his channel's hit 10,000 subscribers. Incredible stuff. If you're not even if you're a Newcastle fan, if you just love football, you really do need to watch the Toon Review. It's a fantastic channel. Great bunch of guys on there. Really successful channel it's become, and it's great stuff. Really pleased for Paul. I'm glad you enjoyed the show tonight. It has been a terrible performance from Arsenal, but you never know. We might get 3 goals in these last couple of minutes, and that'll be quite good, wouldn't it? We have got a corner actually, which is good. We've got 1.5 minutes of normal time to play. Martin Odegaard is going to take this corner over on the far side in front of the Crystal Palace fans, and at least let's try and get a goal back. The corner comes into the near post. It's cleared away again by Crystal Palace. I think that was James MacArthur, and now Crystal Palace on the breakaway, looking for a 4th goal. It's Wilfried Zaha, who's caused us havoc all night, as he tends to do most times we play Crystal Palace. Actually, he does well there. Goes back there to the goalkeeper, Guaita. That's a long clearance forward. It's flicked on by Conor Gallagher, who would be my man of the match, actually. I think he's been brilliant today for Crystal Palace. He's been everywhere. And probably Will Zaha's not been far behind him, if we're totally honest. But Arsenal now, Saka pulls it back to the edge of the 6-yard box. It's cleared away by Anderson at the near post. He's had a good game at the back for Crystal Palace. 2 assists for him as well. Granit Xhaka now. Arsenal at walking pace will be playing it. We're into the last minute of normal time. Smith Rowe's cross headed out again by Anderson. Finds Odson Edouard. He plays it back to Mitchell. Arsenal really just going through the motions now, and these closing stages here. 3-0 down. We've just conceded another free kick. Eddie Nketiah did it in the post, actually. And we did have 1 or 2 other chances, to be honest. The Smith Rowe shot, which was too close to the goalkeeper, and then Martin Odegaard put an effort wide. Eddie's hit the post. Unfortunately, though, in a 90-minute game, if you just have 3 chances and you concede 3 goals, you've got to score all 3 of your chances, haven't you? We haven't managed to do that. In fact, I've just put the stats up there. 3 shots on target we've had. I don't know what the 3 on target are, because the other 2, one hit the post and 1 was wide. But anyway, 3 minutes of stoppage time is going to be added on at the end of this game. The end of it really can't come quick enough now, let's be honest. Patrick Vieira looking on from the sideline with Arteta. He definitely has won the battle of the former Arsenal captains, hasn't he, tonight? Crystal Palace have been brilliant, you've got to say. Their game plan was brilliant from the start. And in the second half, they've managed the game really well. We had a lot of possession. They didn't really, we didn't really create too many chances. And in the end, Crystal Palace have won this game pretty comfortably. A really poor performance from Arsenal. Rajendra says it, all 50-50 decisions going against us. The ref is a Chelsea and Russia fan. I'm not really sure that that's the reason why we're losing this game 3-0. We're losing this game because we played absolutely terrible. And Crystal Palace have played really well. And we shouldn't really be surprised because they've been playing really well. They did hold Man City to a 0-0 draw in their last home game in the Premier League. They're in the semi-finals of the FA Cup. I think they're going to be 8th in the table tonight. Can Arsenal get a late goal here? Martinelli over on that far side. We did score 2 goals in stoppage time in this fixture last season to win 3-1. But even 2 goals in stoppage time tonight wouldn't be enough. As you can see, we're 3-0 down. Anyway, Arsenal, I've got the ball over on that far side. Martin Odegaard plays it back to Gabriel. Knocks it to Granit Xhaka. He's going to try a shot from 35 yards. He does try a shot from 35 yards, and it's gone into the crowd behind the goal. We have played 90 seconds of stoppage time. So we're halfway through this 3 minutes. I don't even think Arsenal are going to get a goal. Be a 4th clean sheet in a row for Crystal Palace. And is it the curse of the manager of the month? Arteta, of course, just won that, didn't he? And how many times does the team lose their next match? In fact, they've just given man of the match to Jean-Philippe Mateta, scored the first goal. He had a great game, don't get me wrong. But for me, Conor Gallagher has been absolutely brilliant. He's been absolutely robbed of that man of the match trophy for me. But anyway, it certainly wasn't going to be an Arsenal player, was it? Let's be honest. Because none of the Arsenal players have. I'll go through the ratings as soon as we finish the game. But not many of them are going to get a particularly good score either, let's be totally honest. We are now into the final 40 seconds of stoppage time at the end of this game. Herman says that Arsenal ladies might make us feel better. They are fabulous. They are indeed fabulous, and they might make us feel better, but ultimately they might end up with no trophies. Yet, let's hope that's not true because we deserve something. Rajendra says 2 penalty decisions against the ref. No, I'm not having that. I'm not blaming that. Palace's was a nailed on penalty. They've been better than us in every single area of this game. They deserve to win. It's nothing to do with the referee. It's to do with poor management. It's to do with the players just playing terribly. And that's it. Well, I'm not blaming. I'm not having the referee at fault for this at all. It's nothing to do with the referee. It's just us. We've been dreadful. We've got what we deserved. Odegaard with a shot there at the end. Over the top of the crossbar. That'll probably be it, actually. We've played 3 minutes of stoppage time. Just blow the whistle, ref. There's no point carrying on. In fact, he has blown the whistle. It is all over. Finally, he has finished here at Selhurst Park. Crystal Palace 3, Arsenal 0. A dreadful, dreadful performance from Arsenal. Right from the start, we just never really got going. Patrick Vieira came out on top quite clearly in this game. 16 minutes it was for the first goal. It was a free kick from Conor Gallagher from this near side. Crystal Palace left, headed back across the goal by Anderson, and Mateta headed in from about 8 yards. Arsenal never got going even after that. It was 2-0 at half-time. The second goal was Jordan Ayew, a long ball forward from Anderson. Gabriel misjudged it. Nuno Tavares didn't read the play, and Ayew snuck in. Good touch, good finish into the far corner, made it 2-0. We improved a bit in the second half when Martinelli came on. We at least had a little bit more possession, but we didn't really create too many chances. Smith Rowe had the best one at 2-0 when he shot far too close to goalkeeper Guaita. Odegaard then fired wide as well, but it was all over with about 15 minutes to go. Terrible ball from Thomas Partey, who got taken off straight after. Zaha ran at the Arsenal defence. He cut back inside the penalty area. Odegaard made a rash challenge. Clear penalty. Zaha took it and scored. That was 3-0. That was all over. And although Arsenal had one or two moments, Eddie Nketiah hit a post with a late curling effort. But we were beaten by the better team tonight. Crystal Palace were very, very good. We were very, very poor. And the combination of that has resulted in a full-time score at Selhurst Park. Crystal Palace 3, Arsenal 0. So we are still outside that top 4. We started the day outside the top 4. We're going to end the night still outside the top 4 in 5th place. Desperately, desperately disappointing performance. We are level on points with Tottenham. They are now 5 goals better than us. But we have got a game in hand. But, of course, we do play Tottenham, don't we, at White Hart Lane. We've got to play Chelsea at Stamford Bridge as well. We are still 5 points behind them with the same number of games played. I think 3rd place has probably gone. And now we've just got a battle. It's us and Tottenham for 4th, isn't it? Let's be honest. That game at it's not White Hart Lane, it's at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. that is going to decide who gets top four, probably. Although we've got Man United to play still, Chelsea to play still, we could end up finishing 6th or 7th. But anyway, let's hope not. Let's have a look. We've had a few other comments have come in since I was just sort of getting involved in the game there at the end. Let's have a look what we've got. Robert says there we had the largest and best academy, the best reserves and the best team on the pitch. Wenger was ordered to not spend but Sellers. We all know the reason we sank like a rock thanks to Kroenke. It was the stadium, that, to be fair. We couldn't spend because of the new stadium. That was the reason for that. Tony says, what Arteta has done to us, losing 3-0 to Palace. Regenda says, so was the Saka penalty. Yeah, it possibly was, but that's not the reason we lost this game. Let's get real. We lost the game because Palace were much better than us from start to finish. Terry says, we struggled to nick a win against an average Wolves side. Palace was just too good and better than us. Palace were much too good and better than us. Regenda says there's Xhaka booking for the same foul as Saka received earlier in attack. Tony C says, it's so true, Mr. T. Kevin says, just like to say many thanks, Richard. I never left you. I just didn't have the opportunity to type, but I was hearing you while I was having running repairs. Great as always. Oh, okay, mate. Thanks a lot. I hope you're feeling better. I know you've had a few health problems. I hope you're a lot better now. Good to have you back in the chat as well. Certainly missed your comments. It's good to have you back in. Hopefully we'll see a lot more of you going forward. And Robert says there, Tony, we have injuries. The whole top office knew this. Arteta is the only manager of the team. He's only the manager of the team, not the corrupt owners. We need Daniel Ek to turn things around. Let's not get too excited about Daniel Ek. He's definitely not coming. He never was going to be coming either. Tony says there, can't see us beating Spurs or Chelsea. We can't even beat Palace. Yeah, what we've got to remember is, though, every game's different, isn't it? We were poor tonight. You know, we played well against Aston Villa. We played well in the previous games against Wolves. We played quite well. And, you know, we've been playing pretty well. We played well at Watford. And we'd won, 5 or 6 away games in a row. Those sort of runs are always going to come to an end. What's important now is we need to put this behind us. We've got another game on Saturday. Yes, potentially it's a game we should win at home to Brighton. But what you need to do is when you've been on a good run and then you lose a game, it's important you've got to bounce straight back, win the next game and hopefully start another run. We've got some really tough games coming up. We know that. We can't dwell on this because if we do, suddenly we've lost 2 or 3 and that's the top 4 gone and could even be the top 6 gone. So, you know, that's what we need to focus on now. You know, we need to put this behind us, regroup for the weekend, bounce back against Brighton and hopefully, you know, things will then... we'll soon have not forgotten about this performance, but we can put it back to the back of our minds again because we have been on a good run and we are still in a good position. It is still in our hands at top 4 and we just need to, it's just one of them nights tonight. Nothing went right for us. We lacked energy. Crystal Palace set out to do a job on us and they got their tactics spot on. And they just played better than us. Just quickly run through the player ratings, and I don't know why I'm bothering, but I will. Ramsdale in goal, couldn't really do anything with the 3 goals, made 1 or 2 saves, maybe a 6 for Ramsdale. Cedric had a hard time, didn't he, against Zaha? He did the best he could, maybe a 5 for him. Ben White wasn't great tonight, was he? Maybe a 5 for him. Gabriel was really, really poor, I thought. Right from the start, his concentration was poor. He could have done better with that second goal. I'm going to give Gabriel a 3. I thought he was not very good tonight. Nuno Tavares, I feel sorry for him to get dragged off at half-time. He was poor in that first half again, but he's not playing enough regular football in the Premier League. He's a young player. He's new to the country. He needs to be playing more regularly. I don't blame him. I can only give him a 2, but I do feel sorry for him, and I want to see him bounce back very quickly. In midfield, Thomas Partey, dreadful. He's going to get a 1. I thought that was his worst game ever, and he's had a few poor games in his Arsenal career. He's been in such good form, so it's disappointing. So I'm only going to give a 1 to Thomas Partey. Granit Xhaka did okay. Okay in midfield, not great. He did okay at left back, got himself a booking, maybe a 4 for Granit Xhaka. Martin Odegaard, as somebody mentioned in the comments, I wasn't even mentioning his name. He was almost anonymous in that game. Gave away the penalty at the end. Stupid decision that was. Maybe a 2 for Martin Odegaard. The front 3 never really got going, did they? Saka had 1 or 2 little moments. Maybe a 6 for him. Lacazette was poor tonight. Didn't have any influence on the game at all. Maybe a 3 for Lacazette. Smith Rowe missed that big chance, didn't he? Again, it wasn't really his night. Maybe a 5 for Smith Rowe. The subs who came on, I thought Lokonga did okay, actually. Maybe give him a 6. He looked pretty lively when he came on. Martinelli came on at half-time. Did all right, did he? Maybe a 6 for him. And Eddie Nketiah did hit the post. we know he lacks the quality that's necessary. Maybe a 5 for Eddie and Nketiah. So that's it. Arteta tonight probably gets a 3 or a 2 actually. The team just looked flat, and that's got to come from the manager. I know the players have to take responsibility as well, but you can't give Arteta more than a 2 or a 3, can you, for losing 3-0 against Crystal Palace. Redendra says Lokonga showed good touches, and if Partey can get his act together, then Partey and Lokonga looks good. Yeah, but look, Partey and Jacob look good until tonight. Terry says top 6 gone. Let's hope Arteta is next gone. The top 6 hasn't gone yet at all, has it? We're 5th. We've got a game in hand. We've got a couple of games in on some of the teams below us. The top 6 definitely hasn't gone yet, has it? We just need to put this behind us, bounce back Saturday. Robert says we beat Palace last time. We had a full team, and we have very little now. We have injuries. Sorry, Rich, we lost too much for the ground. Highbury was a great place. Palace ground is just as big as Highbury was. No, you're right, yeah, but Palace aren't as big a club as Arsenal. If they've got 30,000 in their stadium, that's good for them. Arsenal needed to have more. We had a waiting list for season tickets. We had to move. It was a shame. I miss Highbury. I went back there last week, and first time I've been back actually since the last game I went to there, and back to Highbury itself, the actual ground. Obviously, I've been at the Emirates, but I've not actually been to Highbury before for a long time, and it is sad. And yeah, it's a shame we couldn't have stayed there, but we've done it now. We've been here a long time, so there's no excuse now. It wasn't an excuse for 10 years at the beginning, but not really now. Herman says we shall never surrender. Well, no, we did tonight, though, didn't we? Robert says heads up, we need to keep going each game at a time. We're still going. Exactly, yeah, we're still in with a shout. Tonight's performance was terrible. Let's not get away from that. But the important thing to make sure is that this is a one-off now. That after this game on Saturday, we play Brighton, we bounce back, we win that game, and then we move on. And that's all we can do now. We've got some tough games, Southampton a week after away. That's been a difficult game for us in recent years. But, let's just take it one game at a time. Tonight was terrible. We know it was terrible from back to front, from first minute to 94th. Dreadful. But let's just go now. We need to forget this and see what happens Saturday. If we produce another poor performance Saturday, we don't win that game, then we can start worrying about the top 6 getting away from us. But at the moment, we're still in a strong position. It's just one bad performance out of about 10, that we have been playing pretty well. So let's look on the positives. Let's maybe put that down to the manager of the month curse this time. And unfortunately, that's what's happened there. And yeah, let's look ahead to Saturday and put this behind us. That's all we can really do now. Robert says, I was so emotional when we left Highbury. My life was there. Yeah, mine as well. When I went back there last week, it was really emotional. I was standing on what used to be where my seat used to be, roughly on the clock end. And yeah, it was sad, and it is still sad, but it's been a long time, hasn't it? 16 years or whatever it is since we moved, isn't it? 16 years this year. So it's been a long time. And by now, the club should be in a stronger position now than we are. With the extra money, extra match day revenue coming in, we've had all that time to pay the stadium off. We've got all the sponsorships that we've had. We should be in a stronger position now. The club's been run badly. It's still being run badly now, unfortunately, and it's where we are. Mark says, for whatever reason, we didn't really perform tonight. No, we didn't. From start to finish, dreadful, absolutely dreadful, terrible performance. But yeah, these things can happen. Everybody has bad games, and we had too many players who had bad games all at the same time, didn't we? They've all been playing well, and tonight they all played badly. We missed Kieran Tierney as well, which didn't help, but that's not the reason, and we can't blame one player. Mark says nothing like what we're capable of or what we've shown we can do. No, but as I said, unfortunately, these performances do rear their ugly head, don't they? We lost 5-0 at Man City, 4-0 at Liverpool. We've now lost 3-0 at Palace. For all our better solidity defensively, we are still capable of terrible performances away from home and getting turned over by good teams. And we've got some tough away games to come still. Let's not forget that either. Terry says that every game we play, I'm not confident we're going to win, even against Brighton, and they can't score at the moment. Well, no, this is a big game for us now, isn't it? We've got to bounce back. It's massive that we do. If we don't beat Brighton at the weekend on the back of this game tonight, then I would worry what's going to happen in those last 8 games, to be honest. But Saturday's a new day. Hopefully they can regroup, bounce back, James B, Ipswich fan. How you doing, mate? Thanks for tuning in. He says, sorry for imposing, but maybe their manager might be yours in a couple of years. It might be more. It might be quicker than a couple of years. I must admit, you saw tonight, and that won't have helped Arteta, will it? When you look at a manager, an Arsenal legend, an absolute Arsenal legend. Arteta was an Arsenal player, and he was an all right Arsenal player. Patrick Vieira was just one of the greatest players ever to play football in English football, let alone play for Arsenal. And he's now manager at Crystal Palace. And what he did tonight, tactically, how he set his team up, the way they played for him, that is screaming at Arsenal, get this guy to be manager. Everything's right, isn't it? You know, he's got a history with the club, and he's doing a great job at Crystal Palace. Yes, it's early days. It's his first season in the Premier League, but he comes with experience. He'd been a manager in America, he'd been a manager in France, limited success, but look at the budgets of the team, look where they are. Crystal Palace is doing really well in the Premier League. He knows what the Premier League's about. He played in it long enough. And they're in the FA Cup semi-final. I don't think it will be a couple of years, if I'm honest. I think it might be sooner than that. Certainly tonight, to me, shows the difference for me is one team tonight's got a manager, one team's got a coach. Crystal Palace have a proper manager, and we've got a good coach, but he's not a manager. And maybe getting the two together is the answer, possibly, but I don't think that'll happen. Arteta wouldn't accept a job as number two behind Patrick Vieira, would he? Let's be honest. But that may be, for me, that would perhaps be the dream. But I think that's the difference, isn't it? Arteta's a good coach. He may well be a great coach. Unfortunately, he's manager of Arsenal. And is he a good enough manager? I'm not sure if he is. Patrick Vieira, on the other end, looks as though he's going to become a very good manager. Anyway, let's see what happens with that. But I agree, James. I do think that we may well be seeing Patrick Vieira in the Arsenal dugout at some point in the future. Robert says there, they said we had to leave. We'll have the best players in the world to play at the Emirates. 16 years and still waiting. Well, the best players in the world have played at the Emirates, but they've played for Manchester City and Liverpool and Barcelona and Bayern Munich. They just haven't played for Arsenal, have they? Not many of them. Robin van Persie is probably one that sticks out. Obviously, Santi Cazorla. I mean, Robin van Persie played at Highbury as well. Santi Cazorla. I think Mesut Ozil was a great player, and stuff like that. But yeah, Terry says they're spot on. You got a comment there from Bobby, says Lee Gunner was right. You are finished. Well, I mean, we are still fifth in the league. Let's not get carried away by one poor performance. It's how we respond now, isn't it? You know, if we play poorly on Saturday against Brighton, if we then follow that and lose at Southampton, then I would agree that, you know, maybe the top six is going to be beyond us. But at the moment, we're still in a good position. We just got to bounce back. Bobby says it's being exposed, loser mentality. Fantastic. No, I must admit that is a good point. Loser mentality. I've said this before. You could see tonight, couldn't you? Patrick Vieira is a winner. He was a winner as a player. He's a winner as a manager. His team played with that winning mentality. We didn't. Arteta hasn't got that ruthlessness. He's not a winner. He was never a winner as a player in that same sense, and he isn't a winner as a manager, and that shows in our team. And I do agree with that point. I maybe don't agree with it when you say that we're finished, and I certainly don't necessarily think Lee Gunner's right about it very much. But yeah, no, I agree with that mentality point. We have got the wrong mentality at the club, without a shadow of a doubt. And that's why I agree with Gary Neville's comment that the top four is about the best we can hope for under Arteta. And I agree, that's probably the best we'll ever get from him. But anyway, that's just my opinion, and that's it. Robert says, we were promised to be there with the biggest teams. That was the whole point of the stadium. We had everything. Now, you're right. And I think that the timing of the ground move was quite important, because what happened was Chelsea got their money just before, Man City got their money just after, and suddenly the whole football landscape changed. We couldn't spend a lot of money because of the ground at the beginning, so we lost ground with Man City, we lost ground with Chelsea, we lost ground with Man United, and all those things kind of happened at the same time, didn't they? And it's gone too far down the line now, and we're too far behind, it seems. And we're trying to start afresh with a young team and build up from there. But unfortunately, other teams are going to do it quicker again. Newcastle now are coming up with the money they've got. It's another team we're not going to be able to compete with financially. And it's difficult times ahead, but we're just treading water, I feel, at the minute. We have made improvements this season. Well, let's see where we're at the end of the season, but it looks as though we've made improvements in certain areas. We are generally more defensively solid. We don't score enough goals. 42 goals we've scored in the league so far in 29 games. Not really enough, is it, if you want to compete at the top level in the league? And that's going to be, I think, what will cost us ultimately the top 4. Herman says win the next 5 or 6 games, make Arsenal proud and all their fans, and make yourselves proud. If we win the next 5 or 6 games, that will be great. I'm looking at the fixtures. Can we do that with the depleted squad that we've got? I don't think so. I'm not sure. Loki says, oh, well, we got what we deserved. We certainly did tonight, my friend. We got what we deserved tonight, which was nothing. A 3-0 defeat there, as you can see. Really disappointing performance from Arsenal. And the next game on Saturday now becomes so important, because it will show us what response we've got. Previously this season, we've lost the game and then we've lost the next one. We did it at the start of the season. We lost those first 3 games. Then we had a good run after that, but we then lost against Liverpool, and then we lost at Man United and Everton as well. Then in January, we lost to Man City. We then didn't score for the whole of January after that. And yes, we lost to Liverpool and we bounced back by beating Aston Villa, but now we've lost again. And it's important that we don't go on another 2 or 3 game losing run. We've got to win on Saturday against a Brighton team who play good football. They can't score goals, but they do have a good record at the Emirates, actually, don't they? We've not beaten them at home, have we? Did we? Oh no, last season we did, didn't we? Last game of the season, but that's the first time we've beaten them at home for a while. So they're a difficult opponent for us. So let's not take that for granted. But we need a better performance. We need to bounce back and show that this was a one-off performance. We've had 4 or 5 of them this season, unfortunately, but a one-off in terms of it's not going to be the start of a poor run. That's the important thing, to bounce back. You can play badly, and yes, it's disappointing, it's frustrating, but that happens. The important thing is to bounce back in your next game and the next game after that and get another run going. That's what we need to do. We can't afford to feel sorry for ourselves. We can't afford to, lose confidence and everything like that. We've got to go out there and really try to bounce back quickly. And the only way we can do that is by winning the game on Saturday and then go from there. Robert says, the wings were too weak tonight. Tierney was missed as well as Tomiyasu. Personally, I don't. The way Crystal Palace played, I don't think Tierney and Tomiyasu would have made any difference. Personally, I think we would have lost that game because Crystal Palace were much better than us. And yes, we did miss Tierney. There's no doubt about that. Tavares was very poor, but Crystal Palace. It was more than that cost us tonight, wasn't it? It was Thomas Partey's passing dreadful. Martin Odegaard non-existent. Ben White, Gabriel terrible at the back. Smith Rowe, Saka didn't have great games either, did they? Lacazette didn't get involved really at all. So, Crystal Palace made that happen by the way that they played, but I don't think Tierney would have made a massive difference tonight. I still think we'd have lost the game because Crystal Palace are much better than us, 1-11. So, we got, as somebody put in a comment, we got what we deserved. Robert says, I'd rather have El Neni than Cedric any day. He got Egypt to the finals. Well, he did, but he plays in midfield and Cedric's a right back. I'm not quite sure how that would work. I don't mind Cedric. I mean, he struggled tonight against Zaha, but then a lot of players struggle against Zaha because Zaha is a very good player. He's very direct. He's very fast. And in the end, actually, it was Odegaard's mistake on Zaha that cost us that 3rd goal. Cedric did okay against him. I mean, Zaha had a good game, but he's a good player. And he would have probably caused Tomiyasu problems as well. So I don't want to just look at, 1 or 2 players or 1 or 2 things. As a collective tonight, we were poor. 1-11, we were not good enough. And that's why we lost the game. And one player coming in or not wouldn't have made a massive difference, I don't think, to that performance because too many players were off form. Terry says there, Uncle Pat said in his interview just now, Arsenal are crap, why don't you give me Arteta's job? I bet you're great again. It would be nice if he did say that. I'm sure he didn't. But I'm sure that will happen at some stage in the future. As I say, as our Ipswich friend said a little bit earlier on, didn't he, James? He said he thinks it'll be a couple of years. It might not even be a couple of years, mightn't it? It might be a bit quicker than that, but we'll see. Robert says there, he played El Neni before in that position and he was brilliant. The reason I mentioned it. Now, I think he has played there before, but ultimately, if you've got a specialist right back, you would play a specialist right back in the right back position as opposed to playing a midfield player there, unless it's injuries and you have to. Like with Xhaka tonight, had to drop in at left back. Ideally, you want a left back to play there, but the left back we had was crap. The other one was injured, so in the end, Granit Xhaka had to drop in there. So it's a last resort, really, isn't it? You certainly wouldn't start Granit Xhaka at left back if you've got 2 left backs fit. You wouldn't start El Neni at right back if Cedric's fit, because Cedric's a natural right back. That would be me. But anyway, you know, I'll be surprised if he ever does that anyway. Herman says, thanks, Richard. Good evening. Yeah, good evening yourself, mate. Thanks for tuning in again. Hopefully see you. I'm back tomorrow for the Tuesday clinic at 8 o'clock. What was going to be an upbeat show, looking how great we were and finishing in the top 4, might now be slightly more downbeat, but you know, there's a lot to talk about. It will be good. We're going to dissect this Crystal Palace defeat. We are going to look ahead to Brighton, and we are going to look back at some previous games with Brighton as part of the archive section. Look at where this leaves us for the top 4, bouncing back. Look at Arteta tactically tonight against Vieira as well. So loads on that show tomorrow at 8 o'clock. So please join me for that as well. There's no midweek games this week, of course. So we'll be back after tomorrow. We're back on Friday with the Arsenal Women's Show, looking back on the game at Leicester. There was an international break, so we'll look ahead to that. We will dissect a few other bits and pieces. We'll look at the title race. Chelsea, of course, won their game in hand last night, so they've gone back to the top of the table. So lots to look forward to there. And then, of course, Saturday, 3 o'clock kickoff. Unusually on a Saturday, it's Arsenal against Brighton, of course. So we're bringing a watch along to that game as well. So please come along and join me for that as well. Hopefully we can bounce back from this defeat and move forward and get back on winning ways, but we shall see. So thanks all you guys in the chat tonight. A lot of people in the chat. It was really good, actually. Thanks for your support for the channel. Thanks for joining me tonight. I'd say I enjoyed the game with you. I wouldn't exactly say I did enjoy the game, but it was good to have your company and watch it with you guys as well. So Terry says, Richard, you rate anyone over 6? No, I didn't know. I think Ramsdale got a 6. Xhaka got a 6, and Saka got a 6, and Tavares. But everyone else got 3s and 4s and a couple of 2s thrown in there. Tavares got a 1, unfortunately. James says, don't listen to anything I say. At least you lot ain't messing about in League One. No, that's true, and I'm sure you guys will be back one day, back again. You know, it's a tough time. I mean, Ipswich is a great old club. I used to love the days there, away games at Ipswich back in the day. Great old club, of course, some great players. Of course, we had a couple of your players from Brian Talbot, Paul Mariner. Great Ipswich players came to Arsenal, didn't they? So, yeah, a great club. I hope to see you guys back, actually, very soon. It's a shame what's happening at Ipswich, isn't it, really? But anyway, I do think you're right about Vieira, though, so don't worry about that. Robert says, yeah, Cedric he's not a good player. Sorry, I never ever rated him. I was so shocked we bought him. Yeah, I mean, I was surprised we bought him. I think he's done okay. He's a decent squad player. Comes in and does a job. Robert says, speak again. Richard, great tonight. Yeah, thanks, mate. I will speak to you hopefully tomorrow. If you're in 8 o'clock, the show is live. The Tuesday clinic tomorrow. Obviously, a lot to talk about now. So we'll continue this conversation with the gang tomorrow at 8 o'clock. So please join me for that if you can. Don't forget, before you leave, please give it a like. I mean, I think I deserve a like because we lost 3-0. It was quite a difficult watch, but we got through it thanks to you guys actually as well in the chat, helping me along to get through what was a difficult night, poor performance. But we move on to Saturday, and we'll move on to, of course, the clinic show, the Tuesday clinic tomorrow. Hopefully some of you guys will be around for that. Terry says, cheers, Richard. Many thanks, mate. Hopefully be back in time for tomorrow's show. Yeah, hopefully, mate. I look forward to seeing you if you are. Robert says, I've always loved Ipswich. You guys should be in the Premier League. I'm boring. Chess tomorrow. Okay, we'll try and catch the show on a catch up. No, I've always liked Ipswich as well. There was a few lively away days back in the day, actually, there. And Terry says, say it, Richard. I will do in a minute when we get around to finishing, as always. So thanks to you guys all for watching. Really appreciate your support. I'm glad you enjoyed the show, even if the game wasn't a great watch. But so we're back tomorrow for the Tuesday clip. Please join me for that. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And of course, in the meantime, as always, we've got to say, haven't we? Come on, you Gunners! It's bounce back Saturday. I mean, that was dreadful, but come on, we're better than that. We know we are. We'll do it on Saturday. Let's beat Brighton. We'll forget this game. It's just one of them games. Well played, Palace. Well done, Vieira. We will see you at the Emirates very soon, Patrick, my friend. I am sure. Take it easy, guys. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I will see you tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Crystal Palace 3, Arsenal 0. Patrick Vieira 3. Mikel Arteta 0. See you tomorrow, guys. Thanks for watching.